Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Super Tuesday of the Vega Battlegrounds Championship, the Grandmaster's Cup here. I do have the bracket up for you so you can see who's playing, who's going, who's already gone, what are we playing for. Today, we've got a doubleheader for you. Make sure you stay tuned. After this, we'll have Karate Mike versus Nick136. But right now, we've got PWF versus Fintech. I know the competitors want to get started, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to my co-host for the day, or at least for now, Campo, as I continue to get things set up. Campo, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. We've got some great matchups today, as usual. I mean, when you get down to this level of the tournament, you're not going to not see a good matchup. So absolutely. Two war officers here, PWF from For Loki, Fintech, I believe still in noon. And, there's something about being able to plan a war map and then being able to draft. Those two things go hand in hand. And of course, we have this victory track meta today where we have to deal with the electric defense and the power burn and the armor and all that. So definitely this tournament has been looking a little different now than it did a couple weeks ago with these new nodes, I would say.
That's a great point. I mean, I put out the video kind of trying to give people a little bit of hope, some tips and tricks that I had learned along the way, as far as like just kind of making my way through the victory track. But one of the biggest things I gave, or I said, was like, or the common theme throughout it was like, don't give up hope. And I meant that in multiple ways. Is one, in your fights themselves, they're probably going to look ugly, like compared to what you're used to seeing. And two was, I understand losing is not fun. I totally get it. Don't beat yourself up. Take a break. Maybe let a day or two go by, try to get your objectives done or the events, and then come back to it. And I think you're going to see that today. I mean, you're going to see incredibly pretty play, but I think you're going to see some fights where someone wins with like 60% health or something like that. Or it's not done in a minute. It's going to take a while.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you really need to have options. Like the traditional nukes don't work as well in this meta. And also, like, if you go all in, like, oh, I'm going to draft all my really good mystics, and then they put someone who's like nullify immune, or they start with an armor, then all of a sudden you have to think about other options too. So I enjoy watching these drafts because you really have to see, what all the factors are. And we're already seeing some annoying defenders, and the Duck himself has made an appearance. So yeah, it's been a good draft so far here. Of course, Gallon and Hulkling are just sort of the trump cards this season, but
yeah, they really
even
are.
They struggle on some matchups.
Yeah, I had my matchup with Captain Bay last night in Ghost Dogs tournament, and we talked a little bit. I think afterwards, which I streamed for a bit, about ways to kind of handle them. And for anyone who's wondering about the screens, in case you're new to watching one of the tournament matches, I will continue to adjust the aspect ratios of the two competitor screens as we go, and we'll get them fine-tuned, just so you're aware. It looks like PWF is playing on an iPad there. I can tell based on the more square shape, while Finn appears to be on a phone of sorts. We'll say hello to everyone in the chat. I just want to kind of get this started. And let's see, we started off with the bans here. It looks like Finn banned Archangel, who's really, I've leaned on Archangel hard this meta. And he's also banning Namor, who's been used to some incredible stuff. Bay did some really nice things against me last night with Namor. And then Titania, if you play her well enough and you utilize that stagger off her heavy, you've got to time it well. But she can be pretty disastrous for a lot of these mystics that we're seeing. This is a lot of mystic heavy decks. And she can really handle that by preventing the armor up from coming up with that stagger. Oh, Laser, thanks. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. We will also get the streams lined up more when they go in. So right about now, I want to wait till I see a timer. So we got 14. That helps line it up. Finn is streaming this through Discord, and thanks to MP Blaze again, he is like the MVP of all these tournaments. He sets up a stream for me to then stream out myself, and that's why we're able to get these lined up really nicely, which I know everyone enjoys.
Looking good. Yep.
Yeah. Tell me what you're seeing, Campo.
Mojo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing it all lined up now, so that's fantastic.
Okay. Well, we've got Mephisto as a defender who I absolutely hate fighting in this meta. How do you think Doom's going to stack up there?
Well, Doom will be able to completely control the armor, because there's no extra armors coming from Mephisto himself. So I think it's going to be slow, but very safe. I'm interested to see about this Terrax versus Mojo.
I'd be worried about Mystic Dispersion because both these guys have got to be running 4 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion, if not 5 out of 5, and those buffs. But it appears to be working just fine. He's going to have a little trouble. I ran into this problem last night too. He's going to probably end up triggering the node, and then now Mojo's metal, isn't he?
Mojo's metal, so he's able to deal with that. I think if he throws a special, he'll get those indestructibles, which when those go away, that's Mystic Dispersion.
Yeah.
Not to mention just the prompts and, Mojo being Mojo. But at least he doesn't have to worry about the node itself, like he said. Yeah,
but there's the Mystic Dispersion triggering, like we said. For those who don't know, Terrax can't be armor burned, I believe it is, by metal champions, and I had forgot that Mojo is metal, so that's why he was immune to that. And then Finn appears to be handling the node, and Mephisto quite well, doing a good job of using his staggers to prevent the armor ups from coming up.
Yeah. With Doom, occasionally, if you're not paying attention, the armors can slip through, but also if you're in your aura, you can nullify on contact. So he's usually pretty good at just controlling a fight. And it seems, I haven't watched the entire fight, but he hasn't even taken that much aura damage. So this is a very smooth Doom fight, about as smooth as it could go, I think.
Yep, as long as he finishes it off there, which it looks like he's about to. I would imagine PWF went into that not thinking there's a shot this could work, but that wasn't, he wasn't basing his whole draft off of that. I highly doubt it. You don't usually go into Terrax against a Mystic thinking it's guaranteed success.
I think so. And that might have been the only metal champion, unless if they place Howard the Duck on defense. So he may have just been like, well, this is my chance to use Terrax.
Yeah.
And that's a rank 4 Maw, as far as I know, because I did face PWF in the prelims, and I know it's a rank 4.
In the group stage there?
In the group stage, yeah.
So these are the kind of matchups that this meta is producing, right? I mean, who's usually fighting Nick Fury with King Groot? But he's got access to the armor break, and he is armor burn immune.
And unlike Venom and Venompool, King Groot has the power burn immune for all classes, which is helpful.
That's right. They're just immune to tech champions?
Tech, right.
Right. So I want to see how this goes with Diablo down here. I assume, I didn't see it, but I'm sure Finn used the Nullify pre-fight. So he's going to parry heavy to try to get himself to the 1 bar of power. We've talked about that in a video. Parry heavy. Heavy is your friend here, right? Because you're getting more power for less hits. He's triggering his aura, let's call it. I think it is actually technically called an aura. Got rid of the armor up. So that's going pretty smoothly for him down there.
Yeah, that's going great. And he did the heavy punish off of the baiting of the special 1, but now he has his 2 bars of power he's got to deal with.
Yeah. PWF misplayed the tactical charges a little bit there. I know that's not what he wanted. But Nick only went in with a 2-hit combo, so wasn't suffering too much, and with the healing of King Groot, he's probably going to end up right back at 100% here in just a few seconds. Nick does not want to throw his special 2, which he finally does, and that fight will continue. PWF looks like he might find himself in this kind of spot where you find yourself sometimes with Nick. Does he actually want to finish the fight? Or meaning, does he going to go ahead and kill off the first life of Nick? Or is he better off just kind of getting him down to 10-15% what he can do in his first life?
That makes sense to me, especially looking at that clock. He may not even get that far. Yeah. But yeah, I know there's definitely been matches for me where like I'll see I'm at 10% and there's still 20 seconds left, and then you just kind of dance around.
Yeah.
Try to not kill him, because otherwise it's going to look like you made no progress.
And it looks like he's going to end up with the loss either way, though. But he's playing it well. And a good point from you, it's like he's not going to even get to make that choice. Fury's going to make that choice for him.
Yeah, a little bit of passive AI, but also you can't expect King Groot to do a ton of damage. But even so, it took a perfect Diablo fight there, obviously, with the 100% health almost at the end to secure that win. Yeah, well played by both.
In between this set here, let's make sure we say hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I see a lot of chat, so I'm not going to be able to say hello to everybody. Thank you for being here. Make sure you go support these competitors there. Because we're doing a double header today, it's not listed in the chat, but it is in the description of this stream. We've got everyone who's performing today, all the competitors, PWF, Fintech, Karate Mike, Nick136. If you're not already subscribed to their channels, I'd love it if you went and did it yourself. These are channels I watch, I enjoy. They're putting on a show for us today. We've also got Campo MC on call. You can hear how smart he is about this game. And then, of course, we want to thank our financial sponsor of Usafa Gaming, who is also linked in the description. And it's also made the second round of both of the tournaments so far, so kind of lets you know how good he is at this game. The trophy maker, Moose himself, his Twitter feed, making beautiful trophies. Legacy did the unboxing video after the first tournament. And then last, but definitely not least, our Grandmaster for the week, MCoC Dragon, who cooked up some phenomenal bans and camp bans, making it that much more difficult on our competitors. She's a phenomenal Twitter feed and a good friend of mine. So thank you so much, Dragon, for if you're out there. Thank you for doing this, and everyone listening. Check out her Twitter feed. I think you might enjoy it. I think you might have a really good time with it. So, all right, let's go ahead and get back to this. It looks like Fintech stuck with the same bands. I did not see, Fintech stuck with the same bands. PWF has gone with Tigra, who we all know Fintech is known for. Black Cat, who would make sense to me that the Fintech would know how to play her exceptionally well, so I think that's probably the assumption there.
And then Mojo's the new one. I think after having to fight that Mojo the last time, he's trickier to find a counter for in this meta for sure, because all of your favorite science options aren't really an option. So I think that was a smart change, because that kind of messed him up in the first round.
Who would you think? I would think Titania. She is. She's buff immune, right? There's the whole quote. She doesn't need your help, I think, is the idea, or she doesn't need the help.
Yeah.
And she's got the staggers. We talked about Archangel
for sure, and then I guess Reed Richards has a stagger. I mean, that would be an interesting one to think about. I'm not really seeing him in these decks that much, but he does technically have it.
I tested him early on this, and the difficulty I was having is that his staggers off his SP1, and you really want to get to his SP2s.
That's very true.
So I gave up on him pretty quickly. Doesn't mean it can't be done, but I gave up pretty quick. So this Human Torch, I happily let people try Human Torch against Mystics. I'm curious to see how this goes. In my experience, my big, large health pool Mystics like Sasquatch handle them just fine, but PWF does not appear to be having that problem right now.
That was a massive power sting.
Yeah.
He's going to start taking damage now, and I think what he's doing is just parrying to build his smolders now. So that's an interesting strategy. Like, use your hits, do some damage, and then dance. And now every time he parries, he's getting more temperature. He's getting more of the smolder. So when he's able to attack again, if he's able to attack again, because Sasquatch is being rude right now, it's going to hit really hard. But okay, so the armor's off. But that was a tough thing to deal with there.
That was an
going
angry,
into Wrath.
and now he's at his SP3. But that was an angry Sasquatch. That was an angry Sasquatch.
But look at those red numbers. It's there. He may be able to get this down in like one more combo. There we go.
So he definitely wins the time. And well played in the corner there. Now Fintech. We talked about this too, right? This is a good example of the how you can try to mitigate the damage of the node by using your heavy. Fortunately for Kingpin, another reason why Kingpin's so amazing, right, is he's got the defensive ability accuracy coming off of the degen, which comes off of his SP1, so he doesn't need to build all the way to an SP2.
Definitely, yeah. If you more or less spam those and you get two of them up, you're in pretty good shape. Even with one of them, you're in decent enough shape.
So let's see.
But yeah, the time here, because he doesn't have full health.
Yeah.
it's going to be tough to see for sure. But yeah, wow. So Torch comes through.
PWF with a very smart play.
Yeah, I love, because I've actually only used Torch a couple times, and I started parrying right out of the gate. But I actually really like what he did, like hit until you get to 10 hits and then start parrying. That's kind of a cool strat. It worked well.
Yeah. And William's kind of bringing that up here. I am keeping an eye on the chat. We're just not able to interact as much as we normally do. William's bringing that up with Reed. Using the heavy, that is true. I gave up on Reed maybe a little early. I might go back and try that again. I have a rank 4 Sig 200. He's a phenomenal champion. All right, so we've now got Mephisto, who I've already explained I hate fighting. Oh, we see the duck. The duck is coming into play.
So he can technically remove the armors, but the armor breaks are kind of pointless for damage against Rintra, but you can technically armor break him, so this should be a little interesting.
Yeah, but that neutralize up, that's going to start eventually giving Rintra, I think, power. And also, I don't remember the exact numbers, but armor breaks on Rintra actually give him attack increase, I believe.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be pretty, but you can technically get around the node at least. It's just not going to be a wonderful fight here. But wow, I just looked up at Warlock up there.
Yeah, Warlock's making me slightly regret every negative thing I've said about him recently. And I've said a lot of negative things about him. PW is also playing it extremely well. This is what we're talking about, the heavy play style. And then I assume he's using his SB2. There's so many hits in it. So he's still waiting here. Or is he just going to try to... Here he goes.
I think he can finish him with one more special too.
Yeah. Ooh, I might need to put
you
Warlock.
Get those nice armor breaks.
Yeah, I might need to put him back in my deck because he starts the fight with an armor up, which is part of what's making some of these champions a little more difficult to fight that start off with the armor up.
Yeah, he can definitely go two ways in this meta.
Jeez, PWF came roaring back. And Finn's doing what I think really great Battlegrounds players do. This is what we've talked about. Is the whole like don't give up mentality. With this node set, I don't think you should do it in Battlegrounds anyway if you can. But with this node set like this, you have no idea. One slip up from your opponent and an armor up comes up. All of a sudden they're getting power burned. You have no clue how their fight's going to go. So it's really smart for Finn to keep going at this because he just doesn't know how PWF's fight's going to go up there.
I agree. That's an excellent point. It's like in baseball when you hit a fly ball and you think they're going to catch it and you don't run, like you got to run to the base.
Yeah, you always go ahead. Sorry, you always love the kid who hits the fly ball and the outfielder makes an error or misjudges it and you realize the kid's on second base because he hustled.
Yeah.
Hustling actually is good for you. All right, we got a ball game.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Wow, 0-2s on both sides there. It's already shaping up to be amazing here.
Yeah. Kind of to your point earlier about everyone in these tournaments, I think could win any match, any given match. Everyone who's in this tournament is just that skilled and their roster is that developed. You make it to the knockout stage, you got a shot to win it all. That's how good you are. So this is not surprising.
Absolutely. And like I mentioned, I actually got to face up against PWF, and he's pretty relentless with the knowledge, the roster, the in-game fighting. He knows. I mean, I think many people know Fintech by now. If you don't know PWF yet, I think you're seeing a little bit of a window into this guy today.
Yep, absolutely. So there is some thought on the bans. It looks like PWF stuck with the bans. They worked well for him. You pointed out he went with Mojo now. But they at least thought about it. I think they've stuck with the same bands. No, Warlock is now out. There it is. So there's a change from Finn. He's tired of it.
Yeah, that was a showcase there. So I don't blame him.
Is this our first Gallon sighting of this matchup?
I think a Gallon was drafted but not used. But yeah, I haven't seen many of them, or Hulkling for that matter.
That's strange. That just shows you the RNG nature of this too,
Yeah.
Oh, and feels like a good time to kind of, I think I spoke a little bit at early, but to kind of just remind folks, I know I'm not trying to say you're going to win your fights with Gallon if you do this, but it is a way to minimize it, or at least make it slightly more difficult on your opponent, is place these really big, beefy, like a Sasquatch man thing, right? A big, beefy Mystic, who also, if you're running Mystic Dispersion 5, they'll maybe survive that first SP1 or SP2 from Gallon, and then there's a chance your defender gets pushed to their SP3, so you're doing some damage back on Gallon. And then, of course, your neutralized champions, right? Like Rintra himself, or even Wiccan. Oh, no. I saw Finn's screen. I got worried. I hate to see the bugs come into play. Wiccan can handle it because they're going to neutralize the buffs that Gallon should be getting, or would otherwise be getting.
Absolutely. That's why, like, you can't approach this meta with like one tool. You need to really have a toolbox. There could be an entire 3-game match where your 7th unused champion is Gallon because the defense was set up that way, so he's not just a cheat code. However, when he does work, it's about as fast as it gets in this meta.
It's like 80% of the time he works 100% of the time.
Yep.
And I think we're probably seeing, looks like PWF make that decision. And see, look, he goes with, I don't know exactly what was in his mind there, but it looked like Fintech had a Gallon, and he had an option of a couple large health pool Mystic Defenders, goes with Rintra. I'm curious if he's going to hold on to Rintra for that exact purpose.
Yeah, I could, because Sasquatch is annoying, and you may not even finish the fight with Gallon, but you can at least deal with it. When you have that constant neutralize from Rintra, like you mentioned, it's kind of game over for Gallon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think Toffrey had an interesting Gallon versus Sasquatch fight against Ghost Dog, if I remember, last week.
Toffrey's crazy. In a good way.
Yeah, he's a beat. Okay. Mephisto. Jugs. All right. I'm interested to see that.
Yeah, me too.
Double Mephistos.
Double Mephisto. Okay, to me, this means PWF is... We saw him kind of use Terrax this way early. I think he's like, I'm going to try to win round 2 and 3. Or game 2 and 3. We'll see. Mm-hmm. But, Terrax into a Mystic is not typically... Although, I guess... Mephisto at least isn't armor break immune like a lot, or doesn't punish you for armor breaking like a lot of these other Mystics do. Yeah. And then I
don't think Mephisto has a ton of health, so it could work. They're both going to probably take aura damage.
And then Finn seems to be doing a good job landing that heavy stagger, which will prevent the armor up from coming up. He's also managing his unstoppables really well, which I find very difficult to do.
Yeah, especially in this meta, you can't be as aggressive. You got to like count your hits and, like you said, land those heavies. But the Terrax just slowed down a lot because his rock field is gone.
Yeah.
And an armor slipped through. It looks like.
And I don't think Mephisto is metal, right? He's not a surprise metal champion.
He's like bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all magma and bone.
Right. All right, Juggernaut. Wow. He's a pretty good attacker in this meta. I wish I used him a little bit more. He's rank 3 for me, but yeah, he definitely works.
So, Alberto, and thank you for being here. I'm just going to say some of the names that are at the showing up at the top of the chat while we have a small break. I apologize for people I'm missing. What's up, Ghost Dog, William, Griffin, Matt Toohill? What's up, dude? Mike, Lefty, Captain Easy, James, Lord O'Mal, Subpar Summoner. What's up, buddy? Q, how you doing? And then Alberto. So, Fintech gave me that advice of if you use the right side of your screen to move back and to hold block on with jugs. I've noticed, and it's great. It's great advice. I need to practice it more because what it's causing me then to do is mess up my parries, my dashes forward, and everything just because it's so different for me. I see the power, and I think that's a great advice and probably the way I'll start working on it. But currently, I had to remove him from my deck because I was actually losing matches that I should have won with him. And I hope I said hello to Tom. And B uploaded the Mordo. It did. That Mordo has it out for you, Tom. That Mordo has it out for you. All right. So we've got Man-Thing, who's a phenomenal defender, as we said, and then now Thing. I'm curious who PWF is going to use for this thing. Probably, I would think Kingpin. I tried Hulkling myself, ran into some issues where I'm just curious to see if this happens with them. So managing Thing's rock stacks, you still need to do it. And I've talked about this with Hulkling, is one of the reasons why I'm so comfortable with his Pierce effect, and I wasn't worried about it getting nerfed, is that you're eventually going to go unblockable. It's not good to go unblockable against Thing, because you often want to manage the rock stacks. I'm curious. I want to see how he manages this. And then we've got Fintech using MCoC, who we've seen him use so exceptionally well throughout these tournaments.
Definitely. Yeah. So MCoC has like the Valkyrie. Well, actually, I mean, obviously he came out before Valkyrie, but once you get the bat ignited, then your blocked hits will give you power. So unlike Valkyrie, you have to land those 10 hits first. And then he also has the disorient, which is, defensive ability accuracy. So now he's hitting into the opponent, landing incinerates.
Is he using the SP1? He's using the SP1 to get the disorient up, yeah? Looks like, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. That was a big SP2.
Yeah, and protection did proc, it looks like, though. But it's still, some of it went through.
Up there with Thing and Teddy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to finish this off, though. Uses his striker. Very smart use of the striker. Very smart play.
Saved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was probably making a calculated risk there. That's my sense on Finn.
I agree, yeah. But I think it was pretty much in the bag if you get those 3 extra hits from the striker.
And then the defender comes out of it. Is it technically a stun? I can't think of the words they're using for it now.
It's a stun, but it doesn't interact like any stun in the game. It's not a debuff. It's also not technically read as a stun for stun immunity. It's just like a relic free opening, I guess. Nothing interacts with it. It's basically guaranteed.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. But yeah, the special 2s are just proccing protection every time.
Yeah.
Even with 1 fury. Yeah. So
I think out of desperation, it makes sense. But in general, I don't like Hulkling versus Thing.
I'm sure he saw, I think there was a Rintra left for defense. So if Rintra was placed in match 3, then I don't think there would have been a chance for Hulkling anyway. So this is probably the best use of Hulkling. It was just a good draft.
Yeah. What's up, Zach? How you doing? What's up, Aiden? Felix. How's it going, everybody? All right, so as you can see, we're 2-1. Both sets have been 2-0, which is surprising.
Definitely.
Vast, I actually don't know if Finn's MCoC is R4. I believe in the last tournament, it was still at rank 3, but that SP2 did a lot of damage, so I'm beginning to think he may have ranked him up since the last tournament.
Yeah, okay. And that MCoC fight is one I may watch back on this stream because there was a lot going on there. It's not just like, oh, hit the block until I get to a special 2. Like utilizing the special 1, knowing when you can safely hit, doing some damage with the incinerates before you get to the special 2. There was a lot there, which really just shows how well thought out these matchups are ahead of time in their heads. It's really interesting.
And, kind of to your point about the thought that's going into this, we're seeing another adjustment now. PWF is now banning Juggernaut, which is now putting Black Cat back into Fintech's possible picks. So I want to see if that comes up. I do think taking Juggernaut, after seeing that performance, taking Juggernaut out of Finn's hands, Arsenal, is probably a good idea.
Yeah, I liked seeing when the bands adapt, because it's 7 games is a long time to kind of analyze and make choices like that. So that's cool to see. Yeah, Black Cat also, I mean, she's a really good thing counter, but there is some RNG as you get your way up to the special 2. because she gets defensive ability accuracy reduction based off her combo, so you can do some like heavies on the way up. But there is going to be a point where they have an armor, and you have to just depend on your combo defensive ability accuracy to do the work for you before you get the sabotage up. So she's not as like sure of a thing as Falcon with Locked On right out of the gate. That said, she's still great for this meta. I hope we see her because she's fun.
Campo, would you mind, or if any of the moderators in the chat, would you mind linking or putting Campo's channel link in the chat, and then pinning it, or I'll pin it, so everyone can know that it is Campo himself. Another phenomenal channel. Dreamin's here. What's up, buddy? Hey, Masai. Hey, Larson. Yeah, Chris, it's Campo. You were the one who prompted me and reminded me to do that. And then there's the Grandmaster herself, Dragon. What is going on? Thank you so much for these awesome bands and camp bands. We're still having fun with it. We're going to have a lot of fun with it today. So thank you for doing it. Thank you, Aiden. I really appreciate that. So we're going to get to see PWF is going back to the well. I guess the last time he used Torch, it was against Sasquatch, so a little bit different. In fact, this one, he's going to need to knock Rintra down. I'm going to see how he handles this one. I was surprised at how well he handled Sasquatch. I'm going to see how he does this. Sticking with the same strategy that you were talking about earlier.
So weaving a heavy in early.
Yeah. But now
he's alternating medium, light, medium, and then heavy. Okay.
But now he's got to deal with that armor up. It looks like he's doing the same thing, though. Like you said, he's going to parry and try to just bide his time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you've just joined the stream, we talked about this earlier. You wait out the armor and build your smolders so that when the armor goes away, Torch is just absolutely nuking. But this is the problem: is running into this corner play, which is difficult with any champion.
I also found Rintra's stand your that was stand your ground, wasn't it?
On the bottom?
No. Well, did it happen on the bottom too?
Oh no, sorry, I was looking in two places at once.
Yeah. But the mystical charges started coming into play up top. This is what we talked about earlier, everyone. Is like, these are two of the best players in the world. There's going to be a win where someone has less than 50% health. I said it early. They've been playing really pretty. So, but we're obviously going to get our first match like that, where someone's going to get a win and have 50% health. Like, this is why you just keep going, because you don't know.
Definitely, yeah. And is this our first Domino appearance as well? One of our can't bands. I know we've seen Thing.
Oh yeah, you almost scared me there. I was like, oh no, is she supposed to be?
No.
Yeah.
She's on the correct side.
So there's no way PWF came to that thing. Well, maybe he did think he was going to get a win. He was trusting his Domino, which is smart to do. And there it is.
Yeah. Wow.
Best players in the world.
Even with all that craziness, Torch did Torch things. I sounded like nerd for a minute there.
No, I love that saying, because we usually say Domino do Domino things. So I love when we can apply it to other champions.
The attacker, yeah.
It gets me every time, dude. You could make that joke this whole stream and I would laugh.
Yeah. Especially now that we've seen all these new Sig stones, like there are so many rank 4 Sig 200 Dominoes in the universe right now. I mean, it's more so than about 5 months ago, I'll say.
Absolutely.
But, man.
A massive rise in popularity. And Dragon, I'm glad Dragon's here to see it. All right. But now who is he used to take out this Sassy? I mean, it's great that he got his win, which I think is the point, but...
Mm-hmm. Probably Doom. Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, armor break immune, so Duck doesn't work.
Yeah.
Namor would be not a good idea. So yeah, I guess...
The thing is with this Korg, I mean, again, it's Finn, so maybe he's going to show us something that I could not have imagined. But I would imagine this Korg's going to handle Kingpin fairly well. This might be one of those ones where, again, you trust your defender.
Mm-hmm.
Although...
There's some RNG involved, obviously.
Yeah.
But Finn's going to do all the tricks that we know with light attacks, I'm sure.
Yeah, you can see him doing that right there to try to punish that heavy.
I actually dueled this fight this morning because I was thinking about it for war, and Kingpin's light reach doesn't quite work when you do the like beta heavy and start throwing lights thing. And I think we saw that he whiffed a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's going back to like the old school, just throw the light and light intercept like a champ strat, and it's working. Still at full health.
PWF is managing it exceptionally well up there, but Wrath is now kicked in, so he's not going to be able to stun him. The stagger handled, I think. What did the stagger? Why didn't? There's the unstoppable. Okay, I was wondering where the unstoppable was off of Sasquatch. Yeah, I felt like PWF was handling it really well. My curiosity was, is he going to be able to handle it really well the whole time? That fight could get ugly fast up top.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's got to land his heavy. There he goes. But he's sent Sasquatch red.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Doom is a very tanky fellow.
Yeah, this will do some damage, but Korg doesn't look like he's going down too fast.
No.
Yeah. Oh, Doom. Of course, he has extra armor in addition to the the crit resist and all that stuff, right? So
yes.
That was the armor doing some work there for sure.
I think PWF is probably relieved. I think he's worried, but he knew he could trust his defender.
Mm-hmm.
And again, another 2-0 out of these guys.
Yeah, it's just going back and forth and not going to the third game. It's nuts.
This is a true heavyweight fight. Yeah, they're just trading powerful fight. Whatever. You guys know the analogy. Let's not worry about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is what you were saying about like how when you get down to this level, like any person can win on any given day or game in this sense. It's not like somebody's trying to claw back. It's trading blows, like you said. I think.
Thank you. Trading blows. That's what I was.
Is that I don't know. I'm terrible at metaphors and euphemisms, so I think it's something like that.
You did a good one with the baseball analogy earlier, so it's
oh, thanks.
It is fitting that you came up with this one as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Mets fan, and Carlos Correa the deal just fell through for the New York Mets. So I was thinking about baseball earlier. So that was sad.
Cream cheese, what's up, dude? Oh, God, thanks for being here, buddy. Judah. All right, we got to get back to this. I know we're not interacting quite as much as we normally do, but this action is just so good. So PWF now, and that's what happens, right? Is you adjust your bans, it works, and then you stick with them. So he's sticking so far, at least, with the Juggernaut ban. That means Black Cat is back into Finn's potential drafts. We did not see her come up, though.
Torch is a new ban, though, for Finn. That's interesting.
It is, especially because that's someone I've been so comfortable letting my opponents have. But I think this is a tier or 2 or 5 above where I normally play. So it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I learned something today watching PWF with that Torch, because I haven't even had him in my deck, honestly. Mm-hmm. But I may put him back because that's been working well for him.
Here's Black Cat. I'm curious if he picks her. Really hard to pick her over Domino and Fury, though, and Sasquatch. I mean, there's a lot of great options.
Yeah.
I think he's thinking about it. There it is. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. Cool. Yeah.
Well, there's Thing as well, so that'll deter him from picking Thing, I bet.
He's thinking about it. Finn's got a great option in Hulkling for that Omega Sentinel. She's been a problematic young lady to fight for me.
Yeah.
PWF does not have a great answer for a Thing. I guess he's got Gallon. Gallon can handle that.
Yeah, he can make it work.
Yeah. You can see he's thinking about it, though. Not necessarily about Thing, but in general, who he's going to pick. And it looks like, based on the PI, that Masakura is actually still a rank 3. I know it was asked earlier if it was a rank 4. So that's the kind of damage you can get out of a rank 3. I'm going to assume that's that's got to be a rank 3.
I think so, yeah. We can maybe ask him later, but I mean, unless if he's like Sig 1 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or doing the Cat Murdoch trick. And I think Dragon might do it too, where they want certain people on their profile, and so they make it
under leveling.
Yeah.
Dragon has some heavy hitting prestige champs, though. She's just got the all female champion profile, which is amazing. But she's got all of them.
All right, Mephisto coming back in.
Oh, she's defending herself. She doesn't under level. That's solely a cat thing.
I apologize, Dragon. Thank you for the correction. I was really hoping to see Black Cat. I will honestly be disappointed if we don't see Black Cat in this.
Yeah,
in this set.
I'd love to see it too. She's one of my faves. I wish I had more uses for her.
Yeah.
She's so fun.
That's right. You loved her CCP coming out. I mean, you were excited about her coming out. I'm not trying to say you thought she was like the best champion.
Well, she was, I think, my first full champion review when I joined the CCP. So there's also like that nostalgia factor.
Absolutely. So this is what we were talking about earlier, though, about a way to neutralize Gallon a little bit is these really large health pool Mystic champions. He can't usually get them down in just one special. Also, he could run the risk of sending them red to their SB3. And then if you've got a neutralizing one like Rinter, that's even better.
Yeah, they're screwed that way. But so he's going for just harvesting at the special 2s, I guess. He's not doing anything fancy like throwing a special 1 first and building more planetary mass.
Oh, interesting. Do you know the interaction on the mass damage versus Rintra being in Wrath? Because doesn't Wrath reduce damage taken? Is it all damage? I have no idea how that interaction works out.
Actually, Wrath is better for you because it's the rage stacks themselves as they go up. And then when you go into Wrath, it goes back down to 0, basically. So actually, I don't know if he did that on purpose, but if he did, that was pretty like 5,000 IQ move there. Because, there's no damage resistance when he's actually in Wrath. He's just annoying to fight.
My God, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that's about as clean as I've ever seen that fight go.
And then he throws his SB3, which puts him back into the harvest. Just gets to a special 1, ends it. That was...
And the harvest, the first one was just like it naturally expired, right? So he just went to almost 3 bars.
Yep.
Heavied. Yeah, that's the way to do that fight. I'm learning so much today. Jeez.
Laser, I know. I feel like you and Campo right now is like... that was... brilliant. And Finn played it exceptionally well too. Sorry, we're just so amazed by what PWF did up there. We didn't even comment on Finn. Obviously, that's a really tough fight.
Yeah, definitely. RNG, just you never know with Mephisto.
Yeah, and Captain Easy's bringing it up that the extra harvest or whatever, I can't think of the right terms, and I apologize. That Gallon gets from the armor up actually don't apply because you're just facing a mystic. So there was lots of levels to the difficulty of that.
That's true. B McG just wrote a really good summary of the fight. If anyone in the chat wants to read that, it's straight up. Nice job, man.
Okay, and then here is the Namor. I don't think it's cheese. This is what this guy does. I think he's a good champion. I'm just finally coming around on it. So PWF is throwing the SP1. We talked about you want to get as many armor ups as possible so that way you can reflect back as much power burn damage. And then Finn's doing a great job with this one. I've always been scared to use Hulkling against Korg because hitting the block is not something you typically want to do against Korg.
That's true.
Yeah.
So is that? Oh, there he goes, unstoppable. He probably didn't. Yeah. That's tricky.
That's exactly what I've always been concerned of happening. But Finn's handled it very well. Almost seems like he was aware it was going to happen. He's utilizing the really nice heal that Hulkling can get. Hulkling's so good. I mean, he's crushing this fight. He's used his striker. He's going to go in. I think. I don't know if he was hoping for more. That worked out exceptionally well.
Now he's punishing with lights again. Shield's already down. I mean, this guy knows how to fight Korg. There he threw his block exceptionally fast. That was really unfortunate. I don't think that was his fault.
No, in fact, I saw the parry wording come up. Like, come on.
Yeah, Korg just had like a 0 frame block trigger there, but it's still plenty, I think.
Yeah, he's going to get the win. So I, as the host, I feel comfortable with it. But gosh, can you imagine if that had created a loss?
Yeah. The thing with Korg versus Thing is that, Thing's protection we saw earlier just totally destroys that special 2 for Hulkling. Like, you don't get any of the damage because of the protection. But with Korg, once you get the shield down, you can basically do full damage. So we saw some big special 2s there. And just the way Finn knows how to land those light attacks with almost any champion is pretty uncanny. So that's really the star of the show there.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, I was seeing animations out of champions I'm not used to seeing because he's making them do it. It's just that was really cool.
All right, so we have a 1-1 for the first time.
Yeah,
now?
This is our first 1-1.
Awesome.
And it's a big one. It's the 5th one. The stats on in best of 7 sort of series, the person who or the team who wins the 5th one, because they've got a nice advantage going in. Aiden called it. If Finn was actually going to place Black Cat, and now we see it.
Interesting. I don't even know what to say here. I just need to see what happens. This is nuts.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was just going to say. My sense is that if Finn plays this well, and we know Finn, so he probably will, he is going to absolutely obliterate this Maw, because the Maw does not have a large health pool. But
Black Cat doesn't either.
Yeah, that's true.
But you got to keep the neutralizes up.
Okay.
Although they did fix the neutralizes, so neutralizers are a lot stronger than they were a week ago. So, yeah. So actually, the only thing he has left to worry about is like evading, and she's already lost her combo a few times, so I don't think she's going to evade.
And if that first special 2 had crit, this would be over by now. Which I was wondering if it was going to happen. He doesn't want to lose those. Oh, she's thrown her special. If he loses his ruptures, he's got problems. Oh, there it is, Campo. You called it. And now he's got some problems. He's got to get that neutralized back up. I think Finn is setting... that fight versus Maw is brutally tough. Lands a nice reparry.
Once the special 2 connects, though, it's going to be like down to 10% health or something, though.
And then now this is the problem. I've run this with Rinchel when you're not going against the Cosmic, especially. The neutralized can fall off, right? It's more powerful. It's longer against Cosmics. And Black Cat has gotten up an armor up, and I think that's going to be the difference.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, no, I was going to just say, like, so many little things happened in that fight that just were unfortunate for PWF, because, like, he almost had her right in his sights,
Yep. Yeah, if the first SB2 crits, I think he finishes her off, to be honest. And then he's so close to being able to land that second one. And then Black Cat, I think she evaded. I couldn't totally see it, but something happened that caused her to punish him. And then Finn does a great job sticking with it, as we've talked about, and wins, right? I mean, we're seeing that a score of 43,000.
Wow. Yeah, he knew he just had to build that special 2 up, and it took off like half of his health.
Hey, there's Naz. What's up, dude? I hope retirement's treating you really well, buddy. That's a good point by Aiden, that the long special from Black Cat really... Did anyone see what happened there, though? I didn't, because, again, like Campo has referenced, trying to watch 2 screens. PWF was setting up for his second special 2. I actually thought it was going to end it, and the next thing I saw, Black Cat was hitting him. And I didn't see what happened there to create that. If anyone in the chat saw it, I'd appreciate knowing. All right, so there we go. Fintech has taken the lead. He's up 3-2. He just needs to win 1 set now. He didn't SB2. He tried to wait out the armor. Oh.
Okay.
Thanks, Beguile. And then he got pushed to the SP3. William, I think... Yeah, Maybe I'll watch back my own stream. We got a double header here, so we're going to be going from this almost directly into Karate Mike versus Nick136. So maybe it's what I'll do on my lunch break, which this is technically supposed to be. All right. I think. Oh, Masakura is now banned. PWF makes another shift.
Not a bad idea.
No, after that, I'd do it too. Can you imagine banning someone's rank 3, but it being a good idea?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Against a rank 4 Mystic Defender too. Okay. Both sides are getting some phenomenal champs. I mean, there aren't really bad champs in these decks, but I'm fascinated by the sort of how stacked these drafts are so far.
There are ones like that you're more excited to see, you know?
Yeah, right.
Gallon shows up, Hulkling shows up. It's an extra level of excitement.
Sometimes when you have both of them, you can use one as a defender as well. Like Hulkling as a defender can be annoying if they run out of mystics or something.
Yeah. Okay, Aiden's explaining what I felt like I saw, but I wasn't fully paying attention on just that screen. Black Cat caught PWF on the dash in after trying to punish her SP1, and then she was at 9 in the hit counter, so then he had to... Got it. I was like, no, he's setting up. I thought he had it, and I'm sure he did too. And the Black Cat did something, so that... Thank you for explaining it, Aiden. All right, so Man-Thing has now been placed. PWF going with Nick Fury. I'm curious to see who Finn uses for... Okay, Hulkling.
That makes sense. That usually works pretty well.
It won't be as smooth it was in the Rich Get Richer meta, right? With Hulkling, which is getting special twos and all that stuff. All right, we're going to get to see Black Cat. We have a phenomenal matchup. We're already in the 6th set, and I get to see Black Cat. I'm very happy.
Yeah, on offense.
Yeah. Yes, on offense. Thank you.
All right. I think you do heavy. No, well, you can't counter his heavy, but you're going to heavy your way up. And as her combo goes up, she gets defensive ability accuracy. So then you just kind of pray that you can get to your special 2. Now, he is bleed immune, so the only damage that he's going to do is the sabotage debuff if he manages to get a special 2.
But Man-Thing's already got an armor up.
So she only maxes out at 40%, I think. It may be 60% without her sabotage. So it's really a coin flip almost, like if you're going to get power burned or not. So it's tricky to get to the special 2, but if you do manage to get there.
And here it is. He left the card on her because the card will naturally trigger. I'm not sure what the correct term is. So he's got it going now. And
every hit is going to do red damage if he keeps the sabotage up. So that's where you want to be.
Oh, and Man-Thing plays nice, throws the special right away. Man-Thing not known for doing that. He's more known for holding on to his power. That's just cool to see.
Yeah. So Nick just entered life 2. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, how did he not?
I don't know.
He's got like 1% health. That was really strange. Wasted 5 seconds there.
That wasted a lot of time up top. That was really weird up top. Cool showing a Black Cat down there and what she can do. And like you said, pausing the sabotage buff. Because every time it triggers, it pauses basically, right? Essentially.
Exactly, yeah. And every hit is a defensive trigger.
Yeah.
Because of that, yeah.
That you're correct, T. That was an angry Nick. We've seen an angry Sasquatch and an angry Nick in this one so far. Karate Mike, what's up, buddy? You all warmed up? You ready to go, champ? We got you scheduled for about 7 minutes from now. Yeah, I think basically as soon as this one's over, we're just gonna head directly to Karate Mike and Nick136. Should be another phenomenal matchup. Oh, thanks, Mike. That's very kind of you to do that. I do appreciate that a lot. I know you're both busy guys, so I appreciate that. All right, here we go. PWF's got to win this one.
Yeah, this is a true must-win.
We've already seen him do some pretty big brain plays with Gallon, so I'm excited to see what he's got cooked up here.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that much different than the Sasquatch, and there's less health. But, you know, you have to execute the dexes and stuff.
Really nice job pushing Doom to the SB2, then the perfect dex.
Yeah.
This is really nice play. I don't think Finn wanted to push Mephisto to his SB3 down there.
Yeah, that was just, he's hard to control.
Yeah.
When you have a brute that's really aggressive on the left side of the screen and then someone who's passively gaining power on the right, it's tricky.
Oh, and PWF does actually use the SP2 to end it. Didn't even go the full... You know, Doom's health pool is not the same as, you know, a Sasquatch or something like that. So that makes sense.
Yeah. But that shows a lot of knowledge just in, like, you know, they're similar in that they're both mystics and you're using a cosmic, but, like, you know that the special 2 will do that versus needing to go to the special 3 like he did against Sasquatch. That's just a lot of awareness.
Absolutely. And do you think it was the unstoppable buffs? Because they are actually buffs of Mephisto of Juggernaut sending Mephisto red. But I've been looking at it. I mean, Mephisto's getting so much power without them even expiring.
That's true. Yeah, those do trigger Mystic Dispersion as they go away, I believe.
They would have to, right? They're buffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Sweeta? How you doing, dude? Not Horn, Pedo. Yeah, this is a Gallon masterclass. Like, just when I thought I knew how to play Gallon, PWF goes and does this.
It's great to see because, like, he gets this rap as just like an automatic win, but, like, you really do need to do some specific things with him to maximize him.
Actually, Aiden saying the Unstoppables do not count for Mystic Dispersion. That's interesting. I would never have guessed that.
Cool.
Okay, here we go, guys. PWF's got to win this one to send it to the 7th. Obviously, Finn can finish it off. Gallon versus Domino. Going to be a little RNG here. Crit fails, whatnot. Let's see how he handles it.
Domino, one of the things she can do is completely fail a harvest altogether. So let's watch out for that 15% chance.
I would really not want to fight a Hulkling with my Doom in general, but especially in this meta. There's just so many buffs to try to control with your stagger, and you need to make sure he doesn't get the armor up. There it is. That's what he needed. That's what Finn needed. He got it. Well played to put himself in that position to do that. Wow. Incredible matchup out of these two.
Definitely. Just look at that scoreboard. That tells a whole story right there.
Yeah, it really does. Absolutely well played by Fintech and PWF.
Definitely. We saw some great gameplay. Like I said, I'm planning to rewatch a lot of this stream because some of these specific fights from both of the competitors have so much game knowledge and new strategies against this meta that I think a lot of people can learn from.
I'm already thinking of Masakure, was it versus Man-Thing?
Yeah.
And then definitely PWF's Gallon versus that Sasquatch. I even want to see a couple that fight against Korg. I think Fintech had it, just where he was trying to get the spacing down and handle that. That was pretty. And
then also the Torch fights that PWF did enough to get Torch banned.
Yeah, those were so good. Those were so good. A phenomenal matchup from both these guys. Campo, are you able to hang out a little bit, or do you need to get going?
I can hang for about 15 minutes. So unfortunately, I can't do the whole next one, but I can stick around for a little bit for the transition. Yeah.
No, I really appreciate that. So we're going to I'm going to put up. Let's pull up the group standings. Obviously, everyone, you now know who won this one, right? So everyone can see him here, I think, pretty well. And I'm going to get up the other matches here. As we switch over for Karate Mike and Nick136.
All right. Mike said he's about to go live.
Cool. So everyone can kind of see them, has had a chance to look at it. Thank you, Michael. And I can see Nick is going live. So I'm going to actually take this back down, but so everyone can see a phenomenal matchup. I do feel a little badly we don't have time to really just kind of talk about how well PWF and Fintech just both played. We all learned so much from their matchup. Phenomenal performance, guys. Thank you so much for being part of it. PWF, I'm looking forward to seeing you in future tournaments, of course, and Fintech as well. But we will see Fintech going up against Toffray. Keep an eye out for all of that. We'll be getting some information on that out very soon. And I have a Grandmaster announcement who I think a lot of you are really going to enjoy. But let's go ahead and take this down and we will get these. You can see we've already gotten them both live. And like I said, I'll adjust the aspect ratios for both these gentlemen streams very, very soon. Yusafa, hop on call, but that'd be great. Let me go ahead and change the scoreboard. As we get this all set up. Nick136.
Hey guys.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. I'm excited to see this Mike and Nick fight. This is gonna be great.
Oh, this one's going to be incredible. I saw you in the chat for a lot of the last one. That one was incredible as well, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to work and only caught the real tail end of it. But man, PWF, he is a beast.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, they both came up with so many plays where you're just like, oh, I would have never thought of that. PWF, if you're willing to spend some time with us on call here, I would appreciate it. But please feel no pressure. I know all of us have jobs and things we have to get to. So I appreciate it. And as speaking of that, I need to step aside for like a minute, and I'll be right back after that. If you guys can kind of handle the hosting for me, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Hey, Yusafa, what's up, my friend?
Good, Campo. Hey, so this Karate Mike fight against Nick, I've had the pleasure of fighting Nick, and I've only been able to just admire Karate Mike. I've never had the pleasure of going up against him, but that's going to be quite a great match. But first of all, we've got Paul online. Hey, Paul.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, man. Hey, I just caught the tail end of your match against Finn. How are you feeling?
Oh, so you're to blame for that.
That's right. That's right.
Oh yeah, as soon as he came in the chat, yeah.
No, I mean, I'm feeling good. No, nothing to be ashamed about. Finn's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I heard that you pulled some miracles with regards to Torch.
I mean, I was getting punched in the face with Torch.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was noticing, like, I liked the way you played Torch because you would basically use your 10 hits and then just spend the duration of the armor parrying to build your smolders. And of course, that gets difficult when you get cornered. But nonetheless, by the time you got out of that armor, you were just destroying them. And it ended up to W's both times. So I just thought the strategy behind it was worth noting,
Yeah, so that one I had seen from Nagase. He put out a video where he was doing that, and Legacy was doing kind of the opposite, where he was building up a few smolders and then using his 5 and then waiting out, but Nagase was just going straight in. And I noticed if I was doing the back off and build up a little bit of smolders, I got cornered even faster.
Mm.
Yep.
And no,
Yeah.
it's not fun beating the corner.
Yep.
Not with, especially with an angry Sasquatch. Definitely not.
So who was the key champ for you in this match against Fintech? Oh,
I'm gonna say it was Mephisto.
okay.
No, I don't
He
know
showed
if
up.
Finn ever really had a full counter to him. And then
Yeah.
I think the first or second time I faced him, I had Warlock, and then I never got to play Warlock ever again.
Yeah, that Warlock fight was incredible because I think I was watching Finn's screen and then I looked up and you had thrown your first special 2 and the health was just like gone.
Mhm.
I thought that was I've been underutilizing my Warlock for sure. He's definitely good in this meta because parry heavy special 2 is kind of the way you play him, right? So it kind of works.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just timing the special 2 so you don't throw it too early and then get the full special 2 into the armor.
That would hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like we've got Nick and Karate Mike. They've begun their first match. Hey, Bryce, how you doing, man? Let's see what these bans are going to be. I can guarantee you that Karate Mike is... Well, if I were going up against Karate Mike, man, there's no champs that I would not ban on his side. But I would say Howard the Duck. I'd pull him off. I don't know if Karate Mike is a good Tigra player. Do you know, Paul?
Yes, did you not watch his videos he posted in chat yesterday? There were 14 seconds.
I guess I should have. So maybe that was a good call to call. There you go. So we got Howard the Duck, Tigra banned, and then we got Nick Fury, Diablo, and who was that third one? Joe Fixit. Okay.
Joe Fixit is definitely a rank 4 that Nick is super comfortable with.
Right.
Yeah, both
But I played
and defense.
when I fought Nick. I banned Joe Fixit every time.
Okay, so Domino and Thing, both of the camp bans are already drafted. Very nice.
Did you find that difficult, PWF, when without Nimrod and without Falcon, or were you able to work around that?
I think I only faced Thing once, and then I timed out with Hulkling against it. I'm not sure if I had any other counters that round.
Yep.
But I don't think Finn ever drafted his Domino.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw Domino like twice ever, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And in that the very last fight was Gallon versus Domino, and the Harvest made it through. That 85% chance happened. So, because she can just crit fail the Harvest altogether.
Right. Yeah, I was hoping she would do a little more, but wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah.
So it looks like, let me see. So for Nick has Crossbones for Thing. Okay, I don't hate this draft on Nick's side.
Yeah, he's got a few options.
Yeah.
Are there? Does he have any? Well, he's got Doom, but is that his only Mystic?
He's got a 5-star Namor. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's just not enough firepower against Mike's roster, I don't think. Someone's asking if he's running Recoil, and I'm pretty sure he's not in this tournament, but he did in the last tournament.
Yeah, he did against me, and he turned it off like halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm back, fellas. Thank you so much for handling all that. We'll keep it going. For those who are just tuning in, we did just have PWF versus Fintech. Phenomenal match. I actually recommend going back and watching it. I'm going to be doing it myself. We saw so many just huge brain plays out of both of them that I think are well worth learning from. And now we've got Karate Mike versus Nick. And thanks for handling this, guys. Thanks, everyone, for being here.
Hey, Vega, fix Cardi Mike's name.
Thank you.
It's Mario Kart E Mike.
Okay, Hulkbuster against Domino. I don't hate this. I like it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah. Your unblockables can fail, obviously, so you have to be a little careful when you just throw those specials. Valkyrie can take this fight, but aura means when you hit him, you lose your buffs potentially, even into the block. So you got to not hit the block during the aura.
Domino's going down.
Yeah, he's doing the fancy baiting technique that most of us know how to do now, dashing in and out.
Yeah, sticking with the special ones for the armor break.
So Valkyrie's got her 3 now, so her instant bleeds are happening.
Another aura, though.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh yeah, he lost his pierce. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great Hulkbuster fight.
Yeah. Yeah, like, great job by Nick. That was fantastic.
Wow.
Definitely, wow. I see Bryce is in the chat there. How you doing, man? And he's a big Hulkbuster fan as well. He might be the first person I know with a rank 4 Hulkbuster. I'm sure there were others. Maybe I'm even talking to one of them now. But I know Bryce was pretty early on Hulkbuster.
Yeah, looking at
100%
Mike's
help.
roster there, he didn't have any other options for this fight.
No, that was phenomenal by both players. I mean, to end that fight at 100% was fantastic. Okay, let's see. Karate Mike has placed him first. He's probably gonna go for a Korg. No, I would go for a Doom. Korg.
I see what you're saying, though. That looks like it could set up for Nick to go in. I'm still getting oriented on the map. I'm going to see who Nick uses here.
He's trying to bait out his Doom? Is that what he's trying to do? No?
Okay. All right, so this is going to go to Hulkling. Almost definitely.
I don't know. Nick was very quick on picking the Namor. Either he had just predetermined it, or he was very excited about it, or both.
Yeah, I just don't know if he's going to get enough damage out of Namor for this. But once the shield armor up stoop proc, maybe he'll get more damage out of him. But
Yeah, I think Campo's got it correct as we see it start to play out. I just assumed maybe Nick, because I'm having people get better results out of Namor than I'm able to reproduce myself. So I thought maybe Nick was going to get something pretty crazy. But as Campo predicted, Mike and Hulkling make a dangerous team. So that makes this 1-1, right, in this first set or game?
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, Namor versus Korg is a beautiful thing, like in a vacuum, but it's just not fast enough with a 5-star here.
Yeah, and you can't really get your power going, right, and get to that SB3. I struggled to get that done last night. I was not able to really figure out how to do it.
it was a nice dex. Yeah, I'm sure if he had I mean, even if he had a rank 4 6-star Namor, I mean, Hulkling versus CGR just isn't even a matchup.
Yeah.
This is going about as good as you can play, though. So props to Nick for sure. Yeah, like that is a counter to that fight. If this was Alliance War, like good job planning that fight. It's just not fast enough.
Am I the only one of us that's cheering for a dual Crossbones versus Thing matchup here?
That would be sweet. That would be sweet.
Yeah. I hope we get it. Nope.
I'd place the Doom.
So Claire is a smart call here, right? Because she would nullify Crossbones Furies, correct?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a nightmare fight for him, I think.
And then now Crossbones is going up against a villain in Doom. I want to see this Crossbones versus Claire, because I will admit I'm very unsure how that's going to work out. But I'm wondering too. Joey's bringing up, will Crossbones eventually turn off her ability accuracy? But I don't think that's a defensive one. I really have no idea how this is going to go. If you guys know, let me know.
Yeah, I'm nervous about the Doom fight because I don't think that he's going to be able to keep those Furies up.
How did Mike get to? I know Mike went into Overrun. How did he get all the way up to 10 Furies so quickly? There's clearly something I don't know that Mike does.
Oh, the debuffs off of like anytime she heavies or throws a special one are going to get shrugged and turn into Furies.
That's right, and he starts with a 90% chance if it's a Sig 200.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that was a nasty special too. She probably had a few clear charges.
And then her special 3.
Oh no!
Yeah, I can't think of what it's called, but she gets basically like almost an immortal in a sense, right? I can't think of what it's called or really how it functions.
Yeah, her death immunity. It's another immunity technically, but it's to dying.
And then she ends up getting 2 special 3s, does significant damage.
Oh.
Mike's shaking his head. I can't get a lot of Mike's face cam in there, but I hope you guys can see enough of it a little bit because he puts on such a good show. Yeah.
He's still got this fight. I mean, you're just not able to keep your Furies up against a villain.
Yeah, it's just so much harder, right? I think it's called Contempt with Crossbones' kit there. He has Contempt, and it's so much easier to keep them up. It turns it down, ability accuracy off faster too. So, yeah, I mean, Nick's putting on a good show, but there's just not much you can do there.
Yeah.
And also, he's not going to land a single crit against Doom, so the damage, even with all those Furies, isn't going to look as nice as against a Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aiden just said the same thing.
Yeah, it looks like Dragon and Aiden and Z Superfast kind of had a bit of an understanding of how that fight was going to go. Not surprised, it looks like, by the result.
Yep. All right, so first match goes to Karate.
Yes.
All right, fellas, I'm going to head out, but it's been really fun and enjoy the rest of the match. I'll try to pop in the chat if I can get away from my desk for a second. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate you being here. First one goes to Mike, and this is something we talked about early in this stream, and I keep trying to bring it up because I know a lot of people hope. I mean, you want to be entertained, but you're trying to learn too. Is with this meta, it's tough, but remember, it's tough for everyone. I bet you we see. We had it already a couple times now. We see people winning with less than 50% health. It's just how it's going to go. So stick with it. Remember, it's tough for everyone. If your fight starts to go sideways, stick with it. You really don't know how it's going to turn out. And then make sure you support the competitors. I hope everyone knows Karate Mike's channel. If you don't, make sure you subscribe. You're going to learn a ton, be entertained. But Nick's isn't quite as large as Mike's. And Nick has a phenomenal channel. It's one I watch myself. Please go support the competitors. Their channels are linked in the description for this stream. It's one of the best ways to say thank you. Let us know that you're enjoying the tournament and the show that they are all putting on. And definitely not least, thank you so much to our Grandmaster for this week who helped decide and had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed how she went about it. Our bans and can't bans, if you're unfamiliar with the format, 2 of them were picked each week by our Grandmaster. The can't bans this week are Thing and Domino, and the bans are Nimrod and Falcon, setting up a lot of the chaos that you're seeing. And it was done by none other than MCoC Dragon, a friend of mine and a phenomenal Twitter follow. I highly recommend you check it out. The link to her Twitter is also in the description of this stream.
And Dragon, you'd be very happy to know that your bans for this week definitely influenced a couple of my rank 4s. So just to let you know, I think you did a fantastic job of picking those bans and whitelist. So just to let you know that you definitely did influence a little bit of my roster.
Rank 4s, those are big deals.
Yeah.
Rank 4s are big deals that you saw. What are you talking about?
I'm going to turn PWF up a little bit here, everyone. Just a little. Don't adjust your volume there, PWF. And let me know if Chad, if he's starting to come in a little better for everybody.
It looks like Nick is going to ban Gallon this time. All right, which is probably a smart move. And let's see if he goes for Howard the Duck again. Nope. Yep.
That seems like a good tangent. Hi, I'm also here now that Campo's gone.
What's up, Bryce? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bryce.
How are y'all?
Good man.
All right. So I didn't get to see the bands. I had stepped aside, so I didn't see the bands for the first set here. Have they changed at all? Are you guys noticing a difference?
So Nick decided to ban Gallon this time. He wasn't banned last. And it looks like Karate Mike's, Joe Fixit, Diablo, and Nick Fury. I think Nick Fury is a new one as well.
Okay.
I want to say Nick did ban Gallon before, because I don't think he has one.
Which would be an amazing reason to ban one. You don't want unless you have that weapon on your side too. You got to get rid of it from your opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually testing a deck last night with you, Safa, where I would ban both Gallon and Hulkling.
Now that I've got you on call and we've got kind of a second here, amazing performance, dude. You wowed us so many times today in your matchup with Finn. You guys both just two heavyweights going toe to toe. It was really cool to see. Thanks for putting on a show for all of us.
Yeah, that's what the goal is, put on a show, so hopefully people can learn from us and enjoy the meta maybe a little bit more.
Absolutely.
So Larry, the answer is I am waiting. However, I am a little worried that they're going to have featured relic containers, so that me saving that 6-star and those 5 stars is going to be for naught, at least for a few months. But I am holding on to them. We'll just see. Hopefully, the new relics will be released in a couple weeks. I am hoping for a Valkyrie relic, though. That would be fantastic.
In the chat, talking about relics.
The new relics seem really interesting. The Iron Fist one seems fantastic on the right character. That's the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
So I'm interested to see this Mordo fight. I want to see if Mike uses him on offense or defense. I've seen some great things with Mordo on, especially from EMCG using Mordo on offense for this meta, and he's using him on defense. All right.
I think PWF just shared looks like a forum post, and based on what he said, I have a feeling it's going to be about relics. So anyone interested, you can make sure you check that out. All right, so we've got Thing. That's a 5-star thing. Mike didn't go with his. I'm sorry, guys. I got the screens mixed up again. I was like, Mike didn't go with his crossbones, but that's actually Nick's. It takes a bit for me to get oriented on those.
Right. Is this gonna be a torch fight? Nope.
I assume Clairvoyant to try to handle the power gain a little bit, right? And get the debuff immunity up. Or the buff immunity, I mean. And I would think Valkyrie's going to make pretty quick work of this as long as Thing plays nice, holds his block for Mike. Yeah, there we go. Mike's he's got it set up there. He's handling the AI pretty well. I do feel like I've noticed an uptick though in fights with Valkyrie where the defender is not as content to hold block for you. Almost seems like they're baiting you into intercepting. So it's still working. It just, yeah, I do feel like, I really feel like it. I know I sound a little tinfoil hat here, but I feel like it's changed. Oh, but look at this. I was watching Valkyrie versus Thing. Nick is doing a phenomenal job up there of handling this Mordo.
He's crushing it right now.
I think he's about to end it. Wow.
That was very impressive.
That was
good job.
Yeah, I would not have thought that. And I wonder if Mike...
Mike's stream just went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm based on what I'm seeing. I'm wondering if Mike lost power too, because it looks like he.
What's been going on with power? I mean, you had some power issues, didn't you, Vega?
Yeah,
last week?
we're having tremendous storms. In fact, part of why I'm getting a little distracted is I just got a National Weather Service alert for flash floods in my area for the next 3 hours. It's gotten pretty ugly here, actually. This area is not. It's not. You know, we don't normally get this sort of rain, so the neighborhoods, the homes, the streets, nothing is built for this sort of thing. We'll keep an eye on Mike's channel and see if
Vega,
we.
He did comment that his power just went out.
Okay. So he's going to continue that matchup. We'll show Nick's side of it. There's obviously nothing Mike can do, and we'll just continue to show Nick's side of it and enjoy that.
Right.
And if he comes back at some point, we'll get him back in here.
I haven't had too much success with Archangel versus Doom. I know it's an easy-ish fight, yeah, but I just seem to always mess it up.
My RNG in that fight always goes horribly. Like I never get the bleeds, I never get the neuros that I want. But so far, it's going quite well for him.
Yeah.
Very nice chain into the special too. That was very nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, you know, can you guys just kind of handle the hosting here for a few minutes? I'll let you know when I come back.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
some stuff's coming up that I have to handle here.
No worries.
Thank you.
I haven't seen Mole Man placed in defense very often. Is he just a pain in the butt champ, or does he have some?
Yeah, he's just annoying. I think it was one of my last tournament matches. It was either this season or last season where I had a Mole Man place against me a few times. I ended up never having an option for him.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, realistically, he's just a champ that shrugs, but he's got longer animations on his specials, and that shrug can get annoying. And then if you get clipped, you're gonna die to him.
Right. You can't punish into his heavy or into his block. Yeah. It's
Yep.
just
And with how I play, like I hit into block periodically to try to, you know, bait the AI to do what I want, and I can never do that against him, and it messes me up really bad.
right. All right. So we've got so Nick took the second set. Now it's 1-1. Awesome. So Bryce, when are you going next?
Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, fantastic! So right after me, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got quite a docket for people enjoying the tournament. This is I was having fun calling it Super Tuesday. At 3:00 Pacific Standard Time, Yusafa will be going up against Legacy. I've heard of him. I believe he's good at this game. I think it's going to be a phenomenal matchup. And then we have Super Sam and Jay Will going. I won't be covering it, but people who've earned the Thronebreaker role on my Discord will be able to see Super Sam's side of that through Discord, and then Jay Will himself will be streaming that. And then Bryce, I think I just got informed that Happy will actually be live streaming his side
fantastic.
of your matchup. What time are you all? I think you just said it, but what time are you all going again today?
7 Eastern.
7 Eastern, so 4 Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
That's some great Battlegrounds action. And I think Nick is being a good sportsman here and waiting for Mike. Obviously, Mike's dealing with some things, so we'll get that sorted, or he'll get that sorted, I'm sure. It seems like a great time. You know, I've talked about how amazing Dragon has been as the Grandmaster, and she was phenomenal. I mean, knocked it out of the park. Had fun with it on Twitter. Well, if you had to think of, is there really a Grandmaster of MCoC, someone who is constantly screwing with us, providing us challenges, and these sorts of things in MCoC? I know one of the people I would most think of would be Kabam John of Kabam, Marvel Contest of Champions, and he is going to be our Grandmaster for next week. So he is a fun Twitter follow. I do not bug him, please. Don't make it an issue. But if he chooses to have some fun with it on Twitter, please make sure you get in your votes, your swaying, your arguments, your reason, whatever it is that you're going to do. Be respectful about it. But know that Kabam John is the Grandmaster for next week. Yeah, Dragon, we've got a star-studded, amazing lineup of Grandmasters here. It's been phenomenal. You set the bar very, very high. But I think John's going to be able to do it for us. So I'm really pumped up about that.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
It's always exciting when you get Kabam employees to be involved in the community like this. I really do think that's important. It stops the impression that it's Kabam versus the players, and realizing that Kabam is working for the players. That's really good to hear, Vega. Great job setting that up. Thanks.
Yeah, I was really pumped up because Kabam Mike was our first Grandmaster, kicked it all off, right? I thought that was perfect, to have it as a kickoff for it. And then John was willing to do it, which I really appreciate. And he's a good guy, and to the point. They literally, I think, care just as much as anyone about the game. So I appreciate them being involved and getting in the spirit of things. I just got a message from Mike. Let's see. Oh, it looks like Mike is going to try to set up his stream again.
Okay.
Yeah, I commented that in Nick's chat, so he read it.
As it's saying, it literally sounds like volcanoes are exploding outside my house right now. The storm, I guess it's thunder and lightning on top of the rain. I know a lot of you across the globe are like, yeah, it's not that big a deal, dude. It's just rain. We get it all the time. In my area of the world, we actually are in a drought, so we don't get a lot of rain. Our homes and neighborhoods are not set up for this. So,
yeah, I was talking to Joey a few minutes ago, and he was saying that the wind there is just ridiculous, and a lot of crazy stuff has been happening for him.
Yeah, it's it's real. So, what are you gonna do? We'll the match does count. Nick is being a sportsman here. Mike had a power outage. Quick one. Mike is setting up his stream again, which, as I know, does take it always sounds like it'll just take a second. It does not take a second. And Mike, being the professional that he is, I'm sure is going to set it up properly. And we'll get back to the action here. It's currently 1-1, as you can see by the scoreboard. They've been going back and forth. So,
yeah. And Vega, I know you've said it before in previous matches. These guys that are streaming and putting on a show, I mean, it's not the most comfortable situation. A lot of these players to stream and to show their capabilities and their skills. I thank both Karate Mike and Nick for showing us in this tournament. It's I know whenever I'm going up against somebody and I'm streaming, I know that there is that pang of anxiety that goes with streaming live. So this is not the easiest thing for these guys. So I do appreciate everybody that supports their channels.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a direct competition, So there's just even that added on. And then kind of like to what you're saying, I had the match with Bay last night. And, I stream as much as I can, and I, of course, love Battlegrounds, so I stream as much Battlegrounds as I can as well. But one of the things that happens is particularly me, I enjoy interacting with the chat. I enjoy talking back and forth and joking around and having fun. But I just can't pay attention to who am I banning, who am I drafting, who did my opponent draft, how am I going to go about it, and do that at the same time. It's a skill, and you see a lot of YouTubers get better and better at it. Like Nick's obviously doing a good job, Mike's doing a phenomenal job, Lags does it too. So you can improve at it, but it's not something that you just naturally, pick up. Definitely agree on your point. And yes, thank you for the question. I live in San Francisco. I live in San Francisco, out in California. So, and so like PWF is handling streaming. I was pleased, but I was surprised, PWF, if you're still there, that you said, from the get go, you're like, no, I'm streaming these on my channel. I thought that was pretty cool. Was that stressful at all, or how did you go about that?
No, it's a little stressful when you hear things like in the middle of it, like my audio went out in my headset.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening? Like, it sounds still going through on the stream. No one's saying anything, but
yeah.
I mean, since I was pretty much able to focus just on the game and just commentate afterwards.
Yeah.
I think you have a bigger channel like yours or Mike's and Legs. People expect you to interact while fights are happening.
Yeah,
and it's just that much more extra pressure. And you're like, no, let me focus, and then I'll get back to you. I mean, you've seen Legs and Mike, they're just chatting mid-fight, and it's like, how?
Yeah. The one that always amazes me is Brian. Like, I don't know if he's got it as like, I don't know how he does it, but like, he'll be looking at the camera sometimes. That's where I'm like, he's just developed such a skill, like from all the practice and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's really crazy to me. I didn't realize how crazy it was until I started trying to do this myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it is their, I mean, they do this 8 hours a day. I mean, this is their full-time job too.
Yeah.
So they do gain, and you have to have a certain personality in order to do this. And they definitely have it, and you do gain quite a bit of skill being as proficient and playing as much as they do.
Absolutely. For anyone who's just tuning in, we're just waiting for Mike to get his stream set back up. He had a little power outage there, and he's doing his best to get it set up, and we'll get rolling again as soon as he is. And right now, we're just taking questions, having some fun, talking about it, enjoying the tournament. Do I live in San Francisco by choice? Like, am I a prisoner? Yeah, I absolutely love it here. I'm just having some fun with the question. Am I a 49ers fan? No, I actually am not. I'm not originally from the Bay Area. I'm from Southern California. And so I actually grew up kind of disliking the 49ers, if I'm going to be totally honest. Brian's peripheral vision must be, I don't know how the man does it. He puts on an incredibly entertaining stream. He's interacting with the chat and somehow looking at the camera while also playing the game. He's obviously spent a long time developing that skill. It's well earned and well deserved. I love that Seaton is streaming again. I could not be more happy that Seaton is back and streaming MCoC, playing MCoC. It is, there's that initial level where it's like, oh no, that means people aren't going to watch my stuff. Well, my opinion on it is having someone that's that entertaining, that engaging, and has a channel that large, that's again deserved. It's like Brian's, where they've worked really hard for it. It's just great for the game. That's more people playing the game, enjoying the game, watching the game, and having fun with the game, and that is great for everyone, in my opinion. And I really like Seaton. I'll just leave it at that for now. But I really like the man and the interactions I've had with him as of late. So I'll leave that as a little tease. We need a tournament where it's 4 stars only and the game decides everything. You know what, Goku, the next tournament is actually a 3-star only, and we are well into the planning stages of that. I do think we're going to take one in-game BG season off, just to kind of let people continue to rank up their 3 stars. And also I do need a slight break. It helps me with my, I have my own real life and job and things like that. So those are kind of the reasons for it, but we're already in the planning stages. The field is pretty much set. And we've been talking about that for a while. So when we're doing 3 stars, kind of cut the blubber, as they say. No whales here.
Why are you saying that with people on this call?
Cut the
blubber. Well, it's funny because that's true. Actually, it's Bryce, Usafa, and PWF. Well, whales are allowed. It's just, I think the slight deck advantage that they sometimes have is minimized by the 3 stars only. So let's go with that.
I completely agree. I completely agree. You know, I want to go back to what Goku, one of his last comments. He says he wants a tournament where the game decides everything, bans and picks. I disagree. I think you know, one of the biggest skills that these players have is choosing the right counters to which champs. So I think that is an important part of Battlegrounds that I love. While you play the champ, it's also picking the right counters for who you were facing. So I love that about BGs.
Yeah, I think it. I get it, and I understand why folks would like to see. I was just going to assume the spirit of it is like just kind of more being messed with competitors. I felt like I was going out on a limb a little bit here with this Grandmasters Cup, and I expected a lot more pushback from the competitors because they didn't know exactly what they were getting into when they agreed to do this. Yeah, but I feel like this is about the appropriate level because keep in mind is these are competitors, guys and gals who have really dug into that nuance, right? So the RNG hurts them too, or helps them, but they've crafted their deck, their knowledge of the champion abilities and interactions with the nodes and things like that to minimize the potential downsides of the RNG and also maximize the potential upsides. And so any sort of wrench we're throwing at them could be seen as a challenge and I think enjoyable, which that's the feedback I'm getting on this tournament. I think if I took it to a whole other level or update, I think I might frustrate my competitors, and I don't want to do that. So I get what you're saying, and I get the spirit of it, and I think maybe me even just a tournament ago would have been like, yeah, that's do it. But having had this experience, I think this is about the right amount. Like, you know, everything continues going as well as it has been, and it's fun as it has been. We're going to do the 3-star tournament. I've got plans cooked up for the next one. You know, I can't tease that one because it is still in the works. And then we're actually going to have like some kind of awards for, you know, we are tracking how everyone's performing and things like that. And then we're just going to repeat it. It's going to be very much like how golf or tennis or these sorts of things, where these are going to be the big 4 tournaments a year. They're all going to have their own flavor, like you've seen. And we'll have ultimate champions basically for a season. So I don't think anyone's going to be able to win the Grand Slam and hold the title in all 4 of them at the same time, just because I think it's that difficult. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, Vega, there was a sick part of me
Mm-hmm.
that was hoping for this final 16 that you moved it to 3 champions.
Okay.
The band and
Oh, yeah.
Be careful there because trust me, that was on my mind. That was on my mind. Okay, Mike is back up. I believe Mike is back up and live now. I'm seeing it. I believe I'm seeing it. There we go. There's Michael. I'll adjust for those who have not seen it before. I will adjust the aspect ratio as we move through this and they actually start their matchup again. So we'll get that adjusted so everyone can see everything as well as possible. Thanks for hanging with us. I see almost everyone stuck with us during that. We had some fun chatting with everybody. They'll be up and running here in just a minute. Mike had that power outage, so we're getting this going. Did he go work out? Mike was like, I need a protein bar. Hey, look at that protein shake. What's he got? Was that whey protein in the back there? I always like seeing that. So he had to go do that. Kind of hard to hear the others on call. I'll turn up PWF a little bit more. Mike is back.
Ian McGee in the chat, man. I watched his fight, his match, and man, that was amazing. It was I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
That was a great matchup.
I think I'm going to donate an Odin to Karate Mike to open up another deck in his Battlegrounds. We'll see if he does it.
All right, we're back on. So this is tied up 1-1, where it's a best of 7 series here. Mike is back. Power's back on. He's got his stream back on. And we're seeing the bands here. So we've got Tigra, Gallon, and Howard the Duck. Nick is leaving nothing to chance. He's even taking Mike's duck. That is smart, but it's also ruthless. Mike loves his duck. And you can tell Mike's thinking this through. They've had a little bit of time to think this stuff through, so it's cool to see that.
You Safa got to taste some duck last night?
I did. Not pleasant. It was not pleasant. I wasn't expecting to see him on defense, and I left myself open. I didn't have a good counter for him. So yeah, he's surprisingly good on defense. I guess not surprisingly. I mean, I should have known that, but
why is that? I mean, I know he's bleed immune, but what else about him? Does he start with an arm rep? Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah. All right, so there it is.
He starts with like 4 or 5, however much the AI button mashes or whatever it does on their end.
Oh, that's right. And we've talked about that. That increases the actual power burn damage, doesn't it? By the amount of arm reps that are on the champion.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, got to get a generator. Yeah, everyone needs generator funds apparently these days. That was the joke for those who weren't there when my power went out. That became a pretty running joke for a bit there on some streams.
Look at Nick. So he's drafted 4 out of 5 Mystics.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're the dominant class right now. I mean, with Mystic Dispersion, we've talked about this at length, but they just tend to make good defenders. Then there's those really large health pools, or they have the armor break immunity on top of that. Plus, they can function in some dual threat sort of way with the stagger or the nullify. It just feels like this meta really lends to having a long or a lengthy Mystic deck. No?
Well, I can
Especially
guarantee.
with Mike banning Torch. There's no worry about putting him on defense.
Yeah, that's true.
I can guarantee if anybody watches my match against Lags tonight, you will not see Doom on offense or defense on either side.
And why is that, my good friend?
It just won't happen.
All right. You're going to have to tune in to find out. I know the reason. It's a cool reason. And I think people should tune in at 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for Usafa versus Lagsy. All right. We're back on.
Back to Mephisto on defense.
I want to see how this plays out. This was our first prolonged break in one of these matchups. And I know a lot of times, if I can, I like to try to get in at least a couple warm-up matchups. And I'm curious to see if this plays in, like if we see a little rusty play here for the first couple games.
Yeah, I had messaged Finn that I expected to take a break after the second matchup to look at my deck, but it felt fine because I could have made a couple changes, but nothing drastic, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
So I don't like this Crossbones and Sasquatch fight. I do not like it.
Oh, and what about the interaction?
I mean, it's the same thing. He's a villain. He's not going to be able to keep his furies up. I don't see it working out for Nick.
So
I'm pretty sure Sasquatch is a hero.
I was gonna say I understand why you said that, but I believe he's a hero.
Wrong on that?
Yeah, he's friends with Guardian and Squirrel Girl.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. You can't be friends with Guardian, Squirrel Girl, and be a villain. I think that's just a rule.
Yeah, he's A-Force. Yeah, so I was wrong.
Yeah, but you just can't let those furies expire.
But kind of to your other point of it, regardless of villain or hero, the Furies are gonna, the Mystic Dispersion is gonna kick in, and here we go. This is our first SP3.
Yeah, I saw a couple of
Hey
those.
guys, I'm back.
Hey, Bryce, how you doing?
All right. Sorry, I got a phone call from my dad.
No worries. Mike is handling this. We're seeing, Peter, if I can't remember if it was you or Finn, it was probably both of you actually, with some really nice Doom play, keeping an eye and keeping that stagger up with the heavy while still maintaining the fight really well. Anything, I'm pretty sure it was you two, but anything special in that you're looking for or doing strategy-wise?
So I believe Finn did Doom versus Mephisto twice, and I think I did Doom versus Sasquatch.
Yeah.
The main thing, I honestly wasn't focused on the armor ups. I was more focused on his wrath, just because it's an absolute pain
Yeah.
with Doom. It's like, oh, I'm going to slap you. Nope, you're stun immune now.
Yeah, this Crossbones versus Sassy match is pretty difficult because a lot of people forget that Sasquatch gets increased combat power rate. If you have one buff, it's a certain amount, and then if you have, I think it's 4 more, it's like plus 65%. So it's essentially like he's in Wrath all the time with Crossbones.
All right, so Mike takes the first one. Let me see. So it looks like, well, there's Hulkbuster for Domino, which we've seen Nick take handedly, no problem. Let's see. Who's he going to place? Mordo?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is the two defenders he would place, Mordo and Domino, we've seen Nick handle them very, very solidly, and he's got the answers that he's already used, creating kind of probably a relatively uncomfortable situation for Mike, right? Like, these are your guys, these are who you're going to want to go with, and he already knows that Nick can handle them. And we're going to see it again. I want to see this one.
Offensive Mordo for B.
Yeah.
B just put out that sweet video using Mordo on offense.
You're just teasing TJ now, huh? So, Bryce, I feel like you and I talked about this, where I was confirming that I thought Hulkbuster would be good, and the idea here is that these specials do an armor break.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a matchup that I both enjoy and am afraid of at the same time.
Yeah.
Because she can fail certain things, like right there. She failed that armor break.
Yep.
And so Hulkbuster struggles because he has so many abilities that can fail.
Yeah.
And then when they do, it really messes up your rotation.
I mean, it's
Look at that. That's 2 in a row.
Yeah. As you're saying it all, it's happening. And then I'm the same way, I think, as all of us, is like, these things start happening against Domino, and then all of a sudden it feels like she's breaking your block, but it's really just that she's quick, she's annoying already, and you're just starting to get frustrated. At least in my experience, that's what it is. This Mordo's not doing terribly.
No, he's not. Well, Mike's doing a great job.
He's using the degen against Mordo, so he's basically, or against Thing, he's using the armor break, or sorry, the armor up as a buff, right? And the SB2 does more damage based on the amount of buffs the defender has, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and the SB1 triggers through block if you have a buff on you.
Right on. Makes a little mistake there. I think he actually had this one until that mistake. Now it's going to get close. Nick may come back and win this, and I think he's going to be pretty surprised.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think you could see the look on Mike's face there. Mike knows that he had it up until that the very end there. So that's forcing third game of this third set. Pretty pivotal. Okay, so Nick placing this Doom, knowing Mike's probably going to go in with his Titania, I would think, or does he need her for defense?
I don't know who he's going to use, because neither one of those are metal.
Yeah.
But he is placing mags. Okay.
Yeah, I think Mike went full out last round to get that win.
Yep. I would not bet against Mike with Titania, though, here. So we've talked about this. He's going to use the heavy on Titania to get that stagger up. He's going to use those haymakers. I'm curious if he's going to rush to his SB3 and get all those debuffs up. As Peter said, all the debuffs in the game. So let's see him do this. He's going to land his heavy here. So the stagger
Parry
will handle the
lights,
node.
Parry 4 lights.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 lights. Okay.
The Juggernaut's
Juggernaut
just
is awesome.
yeah. Juggernaut's just stand your ground comes into play though. Doesn't get punished by it too bad. Nick handles it well. It's like he was ready for it. I mean, Mike's playing this exceptionally well. It's just Juggernaut versus Magneto in Nick's hands. It's just, not much you can
That
do.
was insane.
Yeah. The aura of Doom isn't doing Mike any favors, although he handled that somehow. What happened there? Did any of you see that?
Falter.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Falter's one of those 5,000.
Yep,
Jeez.
one of the so many debuffs.
But the armor did sneak through.
Yeah. So well done. Well played by Nick. Well earned.
That was super impressive. I'll be right back while I add Juggernaut back into my deck.
Yeah, the other thing that I'm it's just, again, kind of getting used to Titania, these champions. You know their abilities, but until you really see it into play, sometimes things don't trigger. Is she's unstoppable and unblockable. And I that's at least the second time I believe that's come out and really helped Mike. I think he's actually probably intentionally taking advantage of it.
Man, I never get that result whenever I use Juggernaut. I need to call up Nick and ask him how to use him.
Dude, I can't either. The advice I've been given is to use your right thumb, the right side of the screen, when you're dashing back and blocking, because it will not use up your unstoppable charges. The problem for me is it then it just messes up all of my timing as far as like dashing back forward and parries. So I think with experience and practice, you can probably get it, but it's not coming natural to me.
Yeah, I think for a newer player, it might be easier to switch that up, but
Yeah.
playing as long as some of us have,
Yeah, like
a thumb can be so painful.
Oh, absolutely. What it's kind of feeling similar to me is I'm actually using Howard the Duck's pre-fight, which I normally would not want to do.
Mhm.
But what I found is I'm using him against Domino so frequently. And so if I'm doing it manually, I'm hitting the parry. And then I so badly want to get as many Furies as I can that I'm not responding to the stun ending in time. And so as a result, she's smacking me upside the head. So I'm just going to let it auto do it. And it's been working out fine. But I think it'd be superior to play him without the pre-fight on. All right, so Mike is banning Fury, Torch. It looks like he's searching. He found Diablo. Get Diablo out of there. Nick sticking with Gallon, who he said he does not have, and then Tigra, and then Mike's Howard the Duck. Very smart. Double Mephistos have already shown up. Sticking with the Crossbones. Hasn't really got a chance to show off Crossbones. I feel like Crossbones has been put into some matchups that really aren't the best for him. Kind of showing some of his versatility and his power, but also some of the limitations, right? All the champions have limitations.
Yep. Oh, we see Joe Fixit come, so hopefully we get to see Nick use him.
Yeah, I caught one of his streams recently. It was a week ago now. The meta is still pretty fresh, where he was really practicing how to utilize Joe well in this meta.
The changes to ability XP reductions on this node really help him a lot, though.
With his disorient?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because previous to the patch fix today, it like you could use them. It was just pretty risky because that armor up would still eventually trigger.
Yeah.
And if you're using special one rotations, you're just taking so much power burn. But now, since it has a decent chance to actually fail it and restart the counter, it's a big deal.
You know, that's pretty cool. I may look to get him back in my deck because these decks are so Mystic heavy with the node. Having some Science Champions that can handle them is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's also a great two-way.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to drop. I have to get back to work. But I look forward to putting on a show for you guys later on tonight.
Appreciate it, man. We're looking forward to seeing you in just 2 hours, buddy. Thanks. All right, so as we've seen Warlock use exceptionally well in our matchup earlier today, PWF, that was you who used him, right?
Yes.
And so what's the basic strategy, if you don't mind talking us through that a little bit?
So really it's parry. For me, it was just parry heavy, just so you get to your special 2 before the armor up happens, just so you never have to worry about it. But with Domino, there's just so much that can fail.
Yeah.
In doing a parry heavy. And I believe Mike's is rank 4 Sig 200, so that's just going to hurt.
Looks like he's pulled it off okay. Has the heal from Mephisto already triggered? I was watching Warlock and Domino, so I don't know. I don't think it has.
It does not look like it has.
Yeah, just by his health pool is still too high. The crit fails are really starting to hurt Warlock up there. He's taking a lot of damage. Almost health is also
the special 3 off, and then the spare is just going to completely shut down all that healing.
Yeah, so well played by Mike. I'm surprised at how much health Domino still had.
A big thing is she's probably shrugging a lot of those bleeds, so they're not taking for as much as they could be.
Yeah. They also, when she shrugs them, don't they give her a bit of power too? So he's maybe had to spend some time baiting specials he otherwise wouldn't have.
Extra chances to go lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Mike got a nice resist on his unblockable heavy.
Mm-hmm.
That's always fun.
Great interaction.
Yeah.
Stand your ground is a fun one.
I wonder if that's impartial due to Mole Man, right? Because it isn't Mole Man who can block unblockable attacks if he's fully spec'd into stand your ground.
I think that like the specific wording in it is that it can block unblockable hits during heavy attacks. Or while blocking, your champions have 50% chance to resist a block break.
That sounds so wordy.
Yeah, it's an old mastery, so I'm sure that there's some fun game coding language that makes it act that way.
DLL is currently working on it furiously, trying to fix it for us. All right, so this is cool. We're actually going to get to see Joe. So this is what Bryce was talking about. So you think he's going to kind of stick to he's going to maybe land some heavies and then stick to the SP1, you think?
Yeah, so I believe he's probably going to parry heavy until that special 1. Make sure that he has two at most a 2 match of his whatever suit that he wants. And then throw that special 1 for the disorient, which is actually how you play this Rentra fight anyways. So it works out quite well.
Okay.
But Crossbones versus Kitty is a really good one too because he's a non-crit champ. So he really gets to take advantage of that matchup.
Mike had to be so happy to see Kitty placed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a hero.
I finally get to use him.
And that's exactly what you said, Bryce. Look, so the disorient basically made the armor up fail, and then that created it so that it went all the way back down to 0 on the charges. Obviously, he's not going to win this, as we've seen by what Mike has done, but it is still cool to see the node has been fixed and how you can attack it with your Joe.
Yeah, the fix made such a big difference to so many characters.
Mm-hmm.
It did hurt Claire and Longshot a little bit. just because they would stay at 10. It's like, hey, you're trying to get an armor.
Yeah.
Denied. Just going to supercharge myself.
You know what though? I hadn't updated my streaming phone last night and I hadn't realized it. So I actually did my first BG match before the fix had gone live, and I was a little annoyed because I think I used Wiccan. That's how we all realized I hadn't updated yet. But later in the evening, I used Longshot against a Gore. Longshot was fine. You know, obviously that's an ideal matchup for him though. William, I love it. We got to repeat it. I love jokes like that. I love dad jokes. William saying that's a nice fight for the average Joe. I love it. All right. So, wow, that's a clean sweep from Michael there, bringing this back to 2-2. So it's now a best of 3.
Crossbone works really well in that fight. A, because he doesn't crit. So that's not going to give Kitty any of her prowess unless you parry. And B, because Kitty's a hero, so Crossbones is going to have extra ability, accuracy reduction, extra Furies on his Overrun and his SP1. He's just going to turn everything off and do so much damage.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for answering Faust's question there. I appreciate it. What's up, Neen? How you doing, Shadow? How was school today, bud? You were up pretty late last night with me. I enjoyed that. That was fun. It was cool to hang out with you again. Still live? We are still live, Troy. We are still live. There was a little power outage there for Michael. Nick was a sportsman about it and, you know, just bided his time. And we had some fun on call. You know, Troy's bringing that up. I got to consider bringing Tiger back into my deck. I know that she can work fine for Ma. There's no reason she wouldn't work well for Ma in this meta, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I fought so many Ma's last night and yesterday. It got very tiring.
I haven't seen a single one yet.
Oh, dude, it was nonstop for me. Part of it was that I was doing a Battlegrounds tournament. I was in Ghost Dogs tournament. So, I was fighting the same deck a bunch of times. But then I did some friendlies afterwards and it was just Ma. Joey, when's the next meetup? I don't know. It might be all the way till Vancouver. We'll see. I still would maybe like to get one done in Northern California, like in Oakland or something like that.
Vega Naranjan is wondering, how does the champ bans and the champs that aren't banned work?
So we have a Grandmaster each week. So was fortunate enough that I asked a prominent MCoC community member each week who I thought would be really great at the role to be our Grandmaster. And then however they want to do it, they just need to pick 2 champions that can't be banned and 2 champions that are banned. The ban means they can't even be in their deck, and the can't ban means you cannot ban them when they show up. You're just not allowed. And it was none other than MCoC Dragon this last week. She did a phenomenal job. She did it all via Twitter. She's really messed with the opponents or with the competitors and had fun with it during the week. And her Twitter feed, her link to her Twitter is linked in the description of this. I've been following her for a long time. She's a great member of the community. I highly recommend you check that out. And for next week, it's none other than Kabam John. And I'm pumped up to see what he throws at these competitors because the man obviously knows this game exceptionally well. Thank you for the donation there, Troy. Thank you very much for the super kind words. All right, and let's get back to the action here.
There's a duck.
Did the duck finally get through? So Nick stopped banning Howard the Duck?
Who did he swap to?
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
I didn't either. I wasn't looking at it.
His mic stayed the same.
Well, it was Nick that was banning the duck. He was banning Tigra.
Nick was banning the duck.
And the duck. And I can't recall who the other champion was now.
It was Gallon.
Gallon, thank you. That's right, because we established Nick does not have a Gallon. At least that's the impression we're under right now. So we're gonna get to see Howard. It's not a complete rematch, but we're getting to see Joe against Rincher again, and then Titania. I'm glad Mike's getting to show us Titania, all the things she can do. I know not everyone's been watching the whole time. Watch how he's going to land his heavies to get the stagger up, which will help him manage the node to prevent that armor up from ever coming to place. He's probably going to do it in the next couple hits here. He was a little delayed on that. Fortunately, he doesn't get punished. You don't see that happen to Mike too much.
No, he got punished. It needs to happen on the first hit. So he's going to get the armor up. Oh, no, it didn't. It's still got staggered.
Yeah. Oh, what I meant is he responded late. He parried, and I don't know if he didn't mean to or what, but by the time he went into attack, Man-Thing had already, due to limber, gotten rid of the stun. I think Mike's happy with how this fight's going down there. And then Nick is doing a nice job. He got an armor up, though. An armor up did sneak through.
Yeah. Did Mike reset his phone after the last round?
I don't.
Normally he does.
Yeah, he has to reset pretty regularly, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Because B's saying it looks like he might be having input issues.
That would explain why he punished that parry late. That's not very normal for Mike. Nick's making this close. And he's got a low battery too. Mike is getting thrown a lot of wrenches right now.
And then one of your previous Grandmasters, Jim, is in the chat.
Hey, Jim, how you doing, buddy? Nick with a really nice fight up there. Rincher just has so much health, Yeah. That was close. Was that 300 points, give or take? Separating them.
Yeah, wow. Okay. That health loss at the end for Mike. Yeah, and he's restarting mid-match. Wow. Must have been really bad.
But it loads back up in time.
Yeah. Nick's just wondering who he's going to face.
Yeah, and Mike, it's not loading in for Mike.
I'm sure Crossbones is not the defender Mike was hoping to have picked. And Mike looks like he's barely going to get there in time. He sees that Crossbones has been, you can see it on his face.
Not happy about that.
No, of course not. No, of course not. Power outages, input issues. I've been there. It's not fun. It really isn't. And to be clear, Nick has been very gracious with how he's handled it. He's been a sportsman the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that Nick will make pretty quick work of this Crossbones. We've already seen him play Juggernaut very, very well. And aside from, Crossbones' ability to potentially shrug off a parry, there's really not much to Crossbones' kit that should be causing problems. You see Nick even land his heavy there really well off of Crossbones' heavy to get that stagger up. So you can see Nick knows exactly what he's doing. He's already got the maximum momentum. And he's probably going to end it with this special 2 right here. So there you go.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that really was. I'll use this few minutes here to answer a question from Shadow. Vega, how excited are you for Absorbing Man? I haven't been this excited for Champ in a while. Damage looks good. Utility looks crazy. Animations are close to being some of the best in game. Shadow, you pretty much summed it up. For those who don't know, I have been really good friends with Kabam DLL for quite a while now. It's actually starting to get almost natural to say Kabam DLL, which feels weird, how smoothly that came out. But he and I became friends in season 1 of War, and have played this game pretty much off and on since together this whole time. And it's really cool to have him at Kabam. Did an interview that I'm extremely proud of. It felt very surreal to be interviewing my friend who's now designing champions of this game we've been playing for so long together. I think I had to edit it out of the video because there's just so much great footage. Some stuff had to go. But there was a point in the video, if it didn't make it, or in the interview, where I told him, I was like, I think the game's going a really great direction anyway. I'm very excited about the game. I actually intentionally chose to continue having my channel be focused on the game this last summer. But that I think because of him, the game was going to be better than it already was going to be. And I think the game was already going to be in a great place. So I am over the moon, as I say, about Absorbing Man. The kit looks phenomenal. The flow on it looks phenomenal. As you're saying, Shadow, the animations look great. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to the game. And I think DLL himself is going to have a very long-lasting positive impact on the game, too, as a champion designer. All right, so here we go. This one's big, right? Everyone wants to win. If you're in the fifth one, the fifth set, you want to win it. You don't want to have to win 2 in a row if you don't have to. Hulkling's a really tough defender with those options that are left on the board. We're seeing the 5-star Namor come out. He's got to go with Doom, right? That's his best shot.
I think so, yeah.
I just think that's so much to manage for Doom. Hulkling's tough with Doom to begin with, and then you add on this node that's going to punish you so bad if they get the armor up. If anyone can do it, it's Mike, but I want to see it.
It certainly was not me.
I was. Thank you for understanding that I'm the commentator, the host right now. Dude, I mean, it feels like an impossible. There's just so much to manage. Because even if you get your staggers up, as we're literally seeing this happen, you get your stagger up, but Hulkling has so many buffs that the one that you're really trying your best to stagger probably won't end up being the one that you're hoping, you know?
Right. And then he's just going to regen everything back. Stop it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, up top, I mean, Nick's got a 5-star. This is what this meta does to people. And then, of course, with the help of Dragon and her bands, it adds on to it. Things get nullified. It's not the armor up that Mike is so desperately trying to nullify. Well played to get the block in, get to a bar of power, finally gets the armor up off. I mean, this is going to be attrition, right? Can Mike beat Hulkling before Doom dies from the power burn? And just how much damage can Nick whittle down?
Ooh. Nullified the unblockable and still giving him more buffs? No. He really needs this special.
Yeah. Nick's starting to put in some respectable damage up there. A lot more than I thought he was going to be able to do. He's managing the rock stacks pretty well. I guess the bleed off Namor's helping. He's now got a problem, though. There's not a lot of time left in the fight, so he's okay. Intentionally sends him unblockable. Look at these reflexes of Nick. Well, there it starts to go sideways. I think he's going to regret that. He got a little aggressive there. I think he probably felt like he had to. I think where he's going to be pretty disappointed here when he sees how much health Mike had. Yeah. I think it's setting in. He knows he didn't need to do that at the end. All right, so Mike picks it up, takes the lead as we head into the 6th set.
Faust, a Crossbones Awakened ability just allows him to shrug debuffs. To do what Mike did against Kitty, he does not need to be awakened.
And for anyone who's wondering, you know, when I was saying that Nick was playing it really well as being a little aggressive, but ultimately it backfired. But you'll see that out of a lot of really high skill Omega Red players. Like if you watch Slaymon's videos, Lizer always comes to mind on this. Amanda had some really high skill Omega Red. Is there, what's the term for it that the community accept? Is like the quick parry or something like that, where they, you know, most of us back up after we parry so that we could land the next one. But Omega Red players, they want to stay so close, so they just parry, they don't move, and then they time their next parry perfectly. And Nick was pulling that off there for quite a while because Thing was obviously unstoppable. But ultimately, after I think it was like the third or fourth perfect job of that, it finally backfired on him and thing got in some damage.
Yeah, that's the game for those young people.
Yeah. Yeah, you're never going to see me do it.
Reflexes.
Yeah. You will literally never see me do it. That's a young person's game.
And it looks like it's not allowing. There's finally allowing Mike to accept the invite.
Another total back and forth though here. Mike starts off with the early lead. Nick comes back, wins 2 in a row. Now Mike's won 2. Nick finding himself in the spot where he now needs to win 2. It looks like the bands have stayed the same. I think they're both comfortable with them. Right? I don't see. Nick is still allowing Mike to have his duck.
Well, Rintra popped up, and I know Nick's fought him before.
Good point. Yeah, that's right, because the Joe just wasn't getting it done.
Mm-hmm. That cow is so tanky.
Yeah. You know what's interesting too? This is one of those things where Moo Man said it. Thank you, More. I appreciate it. This happens a lot too, where you want to use your gallon, your opponent has the gallon, and you're just like, you know what? Let's let this ride. I feel like they're both doing that with Crossbones because they're both using him well, and you could see reason to ban him. But I think neither of them really wants to let him go.
Yeah, then Mike sees Titania, Mike picks Titania.
He's had success with her. He's needed to rely on his defenders, but I think there was only the one he lost with her, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And then there comes Doom. Another tanky man. And B's saying that Mike is quite insufferable with Titania.
he kind of is.
I cannot imagine Mike being that way.
If anyone in the chat, let me know if you can hear PWF volume well. I turned him up a little bit more. I think he's coming through. I think you all would have told me if you couldn't, but if you can just confirm it, I'd appreciate it. PWF, do you have a way to up your volume just a smidge? Or people are saying it's good. I think B just likes hearing you, so he wants you louder.
I love you too, B.
B is actually now asking for me to mute myself and just have your voice the whole time. No, he's saying just a little. Yeah, Truth is saying just a smidge if you can do it. All right, so we've now seen Joe on defense, a defensive use. It was brought up that he is a good two-way. So we're seeing that right now. I am not actually seeing a phenomenal option for him. Mike is going to go with his Doom, class disadvantage. And
yeah, just really can't let Joe throw a special.
No.
Yeah.
He's got the Disorient, he's got the Petrify.
Both these matchups have the potential to get pretty ugly and fast. Because to the point earlier about some matchups, Hulkling has so many things transpiring that's just more opportunities for Domino to crit fail things.
Mm-hmm.
Nick's doing a pretty good job managing it, though, not letting that affect him. You can see. I think he's trying to get this special 2 off from Domino, and then he's going to go unblockable. Hopefully, the crit fail is always the concern. But he needs her to block. Oh, no, there's that accidental intercept we've been talking about. Jeez. Domino's just being a menace. There we go. Now he confirms he goes unblockable, throws that nice special 2. Now the big damage is happening.
That nice damage is happening right back to him, though.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? That crit fail is just doing its job.
Whereas Mike's just controlling Joe down there.
Yeah. We've seen this happen quite a few times here. Someone's got a lead. Now, they don't know they have a lead. They're not listening to the stream. They aren't watching each other's stream. And then they just finish it off. So Mike's going to finish it off. He did a nice job of retaining his health instead of, something going wrong there. So, all right. So Mike just needs one more. If he wins this one, he's got this match. All right, so we're seeing Mole Man on defense. He has a good two-way, huh? Yeah. Let's core.
I don't think so with AA on the board.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because there's the reduced chance to shrug against mutants, and then once AA gets a couple bleeds to stick, that reduces it as well, correct?
Yeah, Mike's trying to see, does he go for it here? Does he risk it?
Yep.
Because next round he's more than likely getting Doom.
So he went for it. I believe this Juggernaut versus Korg can work, at least in other metas. I don't know how it's going to work out in this one.
It could be difficult to get the stagger in.
Yeah, if you use the Unstoppable to essentially as a heavy attack counterpunch, you could do it like that, which I think he did in an earlier round as well. But it'll be tough.
Mike's also had amazing RNG. He got up 4 bleeds very quickly and is now at 6 neuros. I really don't think you could ask for it to go better than that. The game giveth and the game taketh away, and then it giveth again for Mike down there.
Yeah, Nick didn't get the stagger in early enough, it looks like.
I mean, that's just really impressive, though. We've seen Korg be such a menace for so many people. And Nick's going to have a nice fight up there. It's just not going to be enough. The RNG kicked in for Archangel, which is what you're hoping for. And it just got the job done. Yeah, 9 neuros.
If I was Nick, I honestly probably would have put CGR on defense and let Mike just waste around. But letting him use up AA is very risky.
I'm wondering if he just made a mistake on that. Because to your point, that's a nice matchup for AA, for Archangel. It's like, kind of what makes Mole a little weaker. So.
No, but great job to both of them. They're fantastic players.
I think Mike might be joining us very briefly on call. I know I need to get back to my things. I'm sure PWF and Bryce, I appreciate you sticking around for this. Everyone who's stuck around through the viewing process, thanks for being here. I hope you had a blast. We will be coming back at you at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for USAFA versus Legacy. As long as I have power on at my house, I will be doing that. Huge thank you to Nick136, just really being a sportsman, putting on a phenomenal show for us today. And I do believe we are joined by Karate Mike. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Good.
Oh, man, congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats, Mike.
Thank you. Is that PWF? What's up, bud?
So,
it's going well.
Aside from the power outage, having to constantly reset your phone, and input issues, how's everything going?
Aside from those 3 beautiful things, it's going pretty well, man.
Yeah. How are you doing? I mean, Nick is obviously a phenomenal player. Pushed
100%.
Yeah. So anything that you kind of want to add or get in before we move on to a couple of questions?
Yeah, so you may have noticed in the beginning I banned his Joe Fix-It because he makes me nervous with that champ. He's one of those players who's I really enjoy his playstyle personally because he could beat you with Karnak and he could beat you with Joe Fix-It.
Yeah.
And I love that, right? So I feel like I mean, it's not even like a feeling. It's I do have a roster advantage over him, right? So I have a roster advantage when it comes to rank and star level. But at the same time, that never even crossed my mind because he's just the type of guy who will come at you with like a 4-star like Kamala Khan and just like nullify your armor up buff, like one of those things. So he's a very, very skilled player. So he definitely had me on the edge of my seat the entire time.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing that. I am a big fan of Nick and his channel too, so I appreciate you sending the kudos his way. Yeah. Titania, are you like her? You feel like she was a good champion?
She's my favorite attacker for this meta, personally.
Yeah, we saw you using her exceptionally well. If you're comfortable with it, like just a quick strategy. I mean, you getting the staggers up off the heavy. Anything else?
Yeah. So I mean, first things first, I didn't play her properly today at all. I mean, I just fumbled the bag once with her. I let the armor rep go off, and that is just not that's rule number 1 is just do not let the armor rep go on, or else you have to wait 30 seconds. So basically, what I like to do is I like to start out with some light attacks. I'll do like parry, light. Parry, light, right? 7 or 8, depending on pacify. And then at that point, 7 or 8, I'm going to go for a heavy attack to put the staggers on, push them up above 10, gets rid of the armor right away. I want to get close to a special 3, go for the relic. I have the Hulk relic on. It's going to reduce their physical resistance just a tiny bit, nothing too crazy, don't need it. And then at that point, I want to, if I can, I'll bait out a special attack, right? So they'll be low health. But I want to make sure I heavy attack before the special 3, so there's a stagger on. Go for the special 3, put all the debuffs on, go right in, go for the heavy chains, and usually they're dead in about 40 seconds, and she finishes around 100% health. That's typically how that goes, but that's the strategy you want to go there.
Phenomenal. PWF, Bryce, either you guys have a question you'd like to ask Mike?
I'll take a question from the chat. This is from B McG. You might have heard of him.
No.
Was the power outage the Kabam rig right telling you to get back to work?
Well, maybe. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. As long as it gets done, we'll all be good.
Mike, why?
That's about something you literally can't talk to us about.
Yeah. I was going to say that feels like a nice lead into. I know I told you personally, but it's nice to say it publicly. The deep dives this week were the 2 best deep dives I've ever seen. I thought they were phenomenally well done. I learned a lot about the champions, and I just thought you did a fantastic job. There's really no question, just more of a statement. So congratulations. Thanks for doing that. I really enjoyed them.
Appreciate that a lot. Thank you, Vega.
Yeah, you're welcome. I've got to get back to work. This was a phenomenal thing. I love the show that you all put on. I appreciate you doing it. We had so many co-hosts on today. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to Dragon. Thank you to Nick. Thank you to Karate Mike. And thank you to donations from Zeski and Troy. And I think it's only fitting to have Karate Mike take us out.
Oh, my God. Well, Vega, this is quite an honor. So everyone on this stream, on Vegas stream, thank you so much for watching today. It was an absolutely fantastic show with a lot of fantastic competitors throughout the entire day. There's another great one to be on in a few hours. It's going to be Usafa and Legacy. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on Vegas channel so you do not miss it. It's going to be an absolute show. Everybody on my channel, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you to Aaron for being the coolest dude for donating $5. Very generous of you. And thank you to everybody for hanging out, no matter where you hung out, on my space, on Vegas space. It's all the same space. We're all hanging out in the same MCoC community here, and we all love having you here. So thank you to everybody for hanging out. We hope that you stick around for future rounds, and of course, hit that subscribe button on both channels so you don't miss it. And I feel like we'll all be seeing you around. How was that, Vega?
I almost didn't want to say anything because that was beyond beautiful. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. Peace out, everybody.